my buddy Dash for this episode of Double Take. Dave, I just said joined by Dash, but we're joined by Dash
Talking
and
in
Dave.
the third person. That's so
person.
weird.
The way you feel.
What's going on, everybody? We're here today to talk about the Bloodline Civil War. I'm just kidding. totally yanking with you guys. But we're here to do a later edition of the call-in show just because life got in the way for Dave and I today. What's going on, everybody?
What is going on? Yeah, another Saturday night. It's a bit later. It actually worked out for a couple of you. Frankie as well. He wouldn't have been able to make the earlier one. Misak, however, too late for him. Colin might be drunk. I'm not sure.
He might call in and like 4 or 5 espressos in because Misak was very, very passionate about some points that he sent to us.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens tonight. Lots of rumors. The only real news this week, as we know, is Giuntoli. That's official. And a couple some brands, like there's a couple female signings. But in terms of like the larger big picture news really is Giuntoli. And we all saw it coming. I don't think it was a surprise at all either. It was just like, oh yeah, we know.
Yeah, no, this guy is blue. I mean, I think really the only shock news, if there's even a shock factor to it, is being linked with Lukaku.
And that's it. It's the rumors. The rumors this week are actually pretty exciting in general. Basically the 3 big points I want to talk about. I did the poll of, so we'll bring up the poll. The one that I did 5 days ago has kind of died off as expected. So it's interesting looking back in time, right? Like it's so exciting news that you make a poll about it, and now it's 5 days later looking back, and it's like, oh yeah, it's not a thing. But we'll bring it up.
I'm not gonna lie. I love that you use Lukaku as the thumbnail.
Do you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
you're just
what
gonna get
did you want me to use?
You're gonna get a bunch of Inter people coming in here and being like, "Oh, shit, wrong channel."
That's cool. I'll take the clicks. I'll take the 5-second watch hours, whatever. Come on in, Interisti. I don't care. Let's go.
You know,
show me what your best defenders got for us.
Let me come in with this though. So it's actually official. They're officially being sponsored by Paramount Plus. 3 years, 20 million a season.
Yes. Oh, so they've extended that contract.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
yeah.
You know, cool. Here's my thing. Fuck it. This is full conspiracy theory here. But
as long as you bring the data, that's my rule, right? Let's see the data.
That is true. But you know, Paramount Plus is the only way that you can watch Serie A in the United States, and they're coincidentally sponsoring Inter.
Inter Miami, Messi. I don't know, is that
connected? I mean, just straight up Inter. Like they're essentially the shirt sponsor for Inter Milan for the next.
Yeah, no, I get that, but because do you think it's just like the brand in general, like the Inter brand?
I don't know. It might be either something happened where the United States is like, hey, we're gonna sponsor. Because think about it, like why would they sponsor Inter instead of Juve? Granted, Jeep probably offers more money than Paramount Plus would.
Okay. So you have to understand, Stellantis is Jeep, is Juve. It's all the same company. And the accounting can be a lot more creative as well. Because you're not really spending any money, but on the books, there's a transfer of money. So I'm just speculating of what could possibly happen. I don't know. I just know, generally speaking, when you make these exchanges within your own company, like I'll use Samsung, for example. Samsung, if you actually took their military department and made it a nation's military, it would actually be the largest military in the world. But they have zero communication with the cell phone maker part of it. They have no communication with the ones that make the memory chips. So they actually have to buy the memory chips for their cell phone from Samsung Memory, for instance, right? And they can get very creative. This is one of the reasons and not to, and I don't really understand to dive deep into it, but like the South Korean economy and how it works, it's actually very interesting. So it's one of those things. Now that's us. Inter, they were with what, BitGet, or one of those shady ass cryptocurrency companies that went under, and they just had a big hole in their chest. And Paramount Plus, money. It was money. They saw the opportunity. They knew they can't get Juve. I mean, after the cross city rival, like Inter's the next big team.
Yeah, I get that, but like the thing is like if I was Paramount and you're like, and Juve at the same time too, where it's like you're trying, because Juve wants to expand in the United States market, like they want the U.S. market like badly, and
Mhm.
I don't know. Paramount would have been a good shirt sponsor. And I know, we're talking about semantics here and finances and stuff like that, not actual Juve stuff, but I don't know. I
It's
thought it was
connected.
interesting because it's like, I get it where you can put Ferrari or Alfa Romero and stuff on the jersey, but it doesn't,
Those are niche brands, though.
it's niche. It's very, very niche where it's
Yeah.
like, for example, if I'm a casual and I see, because right now I guarantee you on the app, there's going to be a bunch of Inter stuff now on the Paramount Plus app.
Oh, probably.
So like a
And
bunch of Serie A stuff is just going to feature Inter.
and
So
you
now,
couldn't do Ferrari. Sorry, just as an aside, Ferrari has a deal with Puma, so you wouldn't be able to put that on an Adidas kit. Sorry.
yeah. And then Frankie says U.S. market, but no Captain America. Yeah, Milan won that, and I think that that's an absolute steal for how much they got him for, and I will kind of talk about it why later. But
Pulisic, yes,
yeah,
that's a talking point.
officially a Milan player for 22 million,
Yeah,
and I surprised they got him for that cheap. I'm not gonna lie, because I
it's
mean,
decent.
he was bought from Dortmund for 80 and sold for 22. So quite interesting. But look, that's my thing. I'm gonna tell you, most to our Western Hemisphere folk that use Paramount Plus, pay attention to the app. Let's see how much they
Yeah,
cater
we'll
towards
see.
Inter, especially with the commentators now, because that to me just screams conflict of interest. I don't know, because it's like, you can't. Yeah, they have to watch what they say now because
We
officially they're sponsoring them. So it's like,
we
I don't
already
know.
know that maybe the professionalism in that matter isn't 100% at that company.
Yeah.
Perhaps, I don't know. We've seen things that perhaps may say otherwise with certain people, but not to throw anybody under the bus. You do what you do.
Absolutely.
Dave's saying 22 million for 7 games, though. Yeah,
So
we'll see.
I get that, but when you look at his averages in the Premier League, there's a couple of things you have to take into account. The Premier League is a lot more, I want to say, a lot more physical dependent on your physicality. So, like, again, more movement, more running gun offense. It's going to be more strenuous on, for example, because Pulisic's a small dude. Physically, he's small. He's not yoked like us. He wishes he could be, but
Like even small for an American,
yeah, he's small for an American.
and
Like, if you
America's got
pull,
some large people.
we got some big ass motherfuckers. But if you look at like his metrics that are online, like Pulisic is a very tiny guy. Like he could fit in my pocket. That's how small he is. So him going to the Premier League, like the poor kid's gonna get eaten alive. To be honest with you, because he has been averaging about 21 to 22 games a season with Chelsea. I think those numbers, barring a trip to the Olympico,
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Too.
barring a trip to the Olympico, I think he's going to average maybe 27, 28
That'd be
games.
funny. They just bench him every time they play in Rome.
Yeah. But the reason why I'm saying so, David, is from what I've heard from some friends of mine that are Milanese, they're saying that Pulisic is replacing Brahim Diaz as a number 10.
And number 10. Okay.
So he's not going to be playing on the wing as often. So physically,
That's physical, yeah.
less physical demanding as far as, because Pulisic has a lot of muscle injuries or muscle issues because of him playing on the wing. So I think those numbers are going to go up. And again, if Pulisic gives you a double-digit assist next season, you won that transfer for 22 million.
Yeah, that's interesting. And
It's good business by Milan because it's like Timmy Weah. It honestly is. Pulisic's a little bit more proven than Timmy,
yeah,
but the thing is like it's one of those things. It's because what's one of the main questions that people had about Timmy Weah? His health, his
yeah.
physicality.
And well, what position does he actually play is
Yeah.
another one of them. But
It's
yeah,
honestly, it's like the same. It's the same thing with Pulisic, and yeah, no, I get you, Dave. You're not saying anything about his talent. I'm more so talking about his availability because I think that's what really kind of hindered Christian is his availability. So I'm saying more so with the position change. I really think he said. By the way, Milan's third game's at the Olympico. Just kidding, you guys lost Pulisic, but yeah,
That's
I
funny.
think it's interesting. To be honest with you, I'm trying to look at it without my Juventino glasses, and I'm just kind of curious to see, because in my opinion, I think Pulisic has a higher ceiling than Brahim Diaz does. So I'm very curious to see if they play him as a 10 from what I've heard. But yeah, I get why a lot of people were put off by it. I was willing to look past it because, like, think about it, guys. On the right wing, it's either you get Pulisic or Berardi, and like Berardi's going to cost you an arm and a leg for no reason whatsoever.
Okay, I know Colin likes Berardi, so when he
I know,
opened the
but for
lines up,
45 to 50 million though.
we'll talk about it. We'll
Yeah,
talk about
we'll talk about it. We'll
it.
talk about it.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. But I think so. What is it? We've got the Berardi links. We've got the SMS for Rovella and Pellegrini link, and then we have the Lukaku. Which, to be honest with you guys, I would take the Lukaku links with a grain of salt. The reason why I say it is because I think Juve is trying to stress Inter out into closing the deal faster than they want to.
They did that with
Because
Fratesi, perhaps.
I believe they did that with Fratesi because the thing is Juve's done this, and Juve's like criminally known for doing this. Is where they kind of like, oh, we're looking at this player, and then Inter's like, okay, well, we're looking at this player now. So I think Lukaku, and that's funny. Not after that shush. You're trying to be PG. That's adorable. But
What did you want me to say?
but the thing is like when I'm looking at it, I think there's no, barring that you trade Lukaku for Dusan, which if you trade Lukaku for Dusan, you're getting a little bit more because you have a proven goal line defender in Lukaku. But the only way I see Lukaku coming in is if you swap him for Dusan and some change.
And that's exactly what I think it would be. That's what they're tabling and discuss to see if that even makes sense. That's probably where we're at, if I had to say.
Yeah, to be honest though, I'm not gonna lie. I just like, this is me playing devil's advocate. I would love to see Lukaku's interview if he did sign for Juve, where he's like, "Yeah, man, I've been interested in Juventus for so damn long.
Oh
I've
yeah,
been
of course. I
man,
read
it's such
something
a
today. I can't remember the source, so I don't want to like quote it, but he was basically saying how great Juventus was.
yeah." And then Dybala said, "No, I'm not going to Manchester United," and then he went to Inter after.
Dybala had actually David Elliott talk there. Elliott talk. Sorry, I put an extra vowel, I think, in your name. But anyways, Dybala handed the P1 position for like qualifying first to Max Verstappen today, and at the British Grand Prix, I guess he was the dude. Dybala just handed out a trophy.
Dybala's looking for that 10 million a season in the Premier League.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what
yeah,
he
in
was
England,
saying.
yeah, Silverstone. It's a big, all the fanfare, right? The new F1 movie from Apple is being filmed right now.
Dybala's there like, somebody please sign me away from the Olympico. Someone.
Yeah, my knees are gonna break.
He's like, get me out of here. I survived one season. I don't know if I can survive another.
Yeah, and David, that's what we're saying. Where if we sell Vlahovic to Chelsea for 80 million, whatever, and then we buy Lukaku for 50 million, hypothetically, I'm just kind of using the max numbers, then we get Lukaku in 30 million. Something like that.
David's asking why not an English player at the Grand Prix. Because they tried getting Jack Grealish, but they found out he was passed out in a porta potty.
Is that a thing?
He had a little bit of too much Guinness.
Grealish seems like too much of a pretty boy. He'd start complaining about like the fumes or how loud.
No, yes, he's an alcoholic, man.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Oh, he's a terrible alcoholic.
But he's English, so is he really?
Touche. Yeah, dude, I'm surprised you didn't see the Champions League celebrations. Like, Jack was like wasted the entire time.
I don't really pay attention to that crap. I just let those people live their lives. I don't need to be snooping into it.
I mean,
unless it's Julia Grosso, and I'm just like gonna be a simp about things. But like other than that,
he was so wasted. He was saying that Kyle Walker could beat Thierry Henry, like prime Thierry Henry, and Thierry Henry looked at him. He's like, all day. He's like, could you reckon you could beat this lad here in your prime? And then Terry's like, in my prime? All day. All day.
Well, Thierry is a bit of a douche, so
He is a douche,
he
but
would, but I also believe him in this case.
my thing is this though, like I don't understand why Kyle Walker magically thinks he's like the greatest defender ever right now.
Because Sky Sports said so.
I guess so. Cause like he's trying to make it's like I don't know why everybody's like trying to make it like sit there and just be like Kyle Walker is amazing. I'm like, dude, there's like no other right back in the world that's decent right now.
All right, let's move on to this because I want to open up the lines sooner than later, and I just want to get through these kind of talking points to rehash the polls that we did this week. Hopefully, you did partake, but if not, here we go. Should Leonardo Bonucci stay or should he go? And overwhelmingly this time, 77% said get out of here.
I mean, technically, Giuntoli told him, he's like, bro, you low key fired.
$6.5 million a season for one more season. 5th defender at this point. On paper, like cold hard business, you get rid of this guy. From a more humanistic perspective, it is kind of a dick move. I don't know if they can maybe make a deal and like bring his wage down to $3 million, something like that. I don't know.
This is where I think Juve need to learn something from Real Madrid, badly. Because, like, for example, Real Madrid with Casillas was a Real Madrid legend, but it got to the point where he was weighing the club down, and Madrid's like, dude, you got to get the fuck out of here. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, you got to go.
Yeah, and that's business.
It is because,
but it is a family. It's a family though. It's a family business.
I understand that, but like Bonucci, with all due respect, he's outstayed his welcome. Like the thing is like Chiellini. This is one of the things that I really respect about Chiellini. Like Chiellini last season was like, okay, I'm not healthy, I'm not available all the time, I just don't have it, I'm out of here.
Here's the thing though, is that with Bonucci being a couple years younger than Chiellini, Bonucci wanted the exact same trajectory. So by that trajectory, he would be retiring at, what was it, 35, 36 by the time?
He's not fit enough to do it, though.
No, and that's the thing, nor is he as good. Plus, there's that whole, he was kind of brought up by who Bonucci played with, Chiellini being the key component. And now that he's by himself and he doesn't have the same body, but like in his head, he's like, no, this is what I set out to do. This is my destiny, right? And he wants to just live out his destiny. He has to come to terms with that clearly. And maybe he is. We've heard reports that he is starting to entertain maybe offers from the EPL. I heard just recently that he declined from Saudi.
Yeah, because he wants to stay. He wants to stay in Europe for the Euros.
He shouldn't be on that team either.
That's my thing. I don't understand. Like, for example, if Bonucci was like, look, I'm going to do my swan song, 3 million, 3.5 million, and be done with it, and then take a lucrative deal in the MLS or whatever. But like the dude, like my issue with Bonucci is like, he tried starting some ish in the locker room last season, and Bonucci low key is a terrible human being. Like Bonucci thinks he's like God's greatest creation, where it's like, bro, you were like third fiddle to Barzagli and Chiellini. Like, I don't care what anybody says. If you wanted to throw the whole BBC, like, he was fourth string.
And it's like, he did the Milan thing. Let's not forget the Milan thing.
Yeah, and the dude's like coming in with like, I am the main character, even though I'm like the worst one out of them all. So it's just one of those things where it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, his time is done. Just like do what Chiellini did, because Chiellini understood, hey, my time is done. I'll go, maybe get the bag at the MLS, maybe win something, compete for something. He did.
And he won.
He won.
I love him. Okay. Old man question here. The comment was just a duck. What does that mean?
No, that's a snake.
Oh, that's a snake. Oh, yeah, he's a snake. That makes sense. Okay,
that's a snake.
Yeah, got it. Cool. I can't see. That's totally old man thing. Like, what was that? What's that there, Sonny? All right, and finally,
I don't know, man. Because Delphia's saying Bonucci was definitely better than Barzagli. Stop tripping. Moving the ball, yes. Dictating play, yes. I think Barzagli was a way more disciplined defender. There was a couple of things that I thought Barzagli did a lot better because it's like you can see when Bonucci's not with if Bonucci's the lead defender in a backline system, you can see the gaps as far as positioning, understanding his awareness, all of it.
That's what you want from a 36-year-old defender. You want
Yeah.
that awareness, positioning, and the command. And he seems to be lacking in that. If you want to talk about going back to Barzagli, yeah, maybe there's some bias. I was never a massive fan of Bonucci. Barzagli he's a beautiful man, so it's easy to love him. Uh, yeah, I don't know.
The thing is like, don't get me wrong. I think Bonucci was on the trajectory to be better than both Chiellini and Barzagli, but I think that move to Milan really just stifled them. Because like the thing is Bonucci was one of those rare center backs that could essentially play the long ball or penetrating pass through the back. Like that was Bonucci's like biggest plus side because Bonucci, like before playing a defender, I think he was like a midfielder, allegedly. But I don't know. For me, I liked Barzagli because he was defensively disciplined. He understood. He could read what was coming, how it was coming. Because like I remember the one time where it was like he was playing as a right back when he was like in his near the twilight of his career to fill in a gap, and he was able to do it. I mean, he didn't have the
Yes, that's
pace,
right.
but
But he
I
did the
don't know.
job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Barzagli, and again, like for example, even and he is technically responsible for converting Quadrado to a right back, where he was able to make Quadrado somewhat decent for 2 years as a right back before Quadrado's legs went. And no, and the thing is, like I said, and Dofla's talking about, and Frankie is a new member,
Hey, thanks,
saying,
Frankie.
and I think that's what we were just covering just now, that people forget Bonucci during his peak made UEFA Team of the Season alongside Ramos. Of course, I'm not debating that. I'm not disagreeing with that. I think, like I said, I think when he went to Milan that season, or he was the guy, I don't think Bonucci was ready to be the guy at that moment
I still
because
don't think he ever is, though, or
I
ever
don't.
was.
Yeah, I don't think so. And that was and that's my biggest issue with him because, like for example, you looked at Delit, and Delit played his best games alongside Chiellini, and then when Delit played or played
With
alongside
Benucci.
Bonucci,
Yeah, it wasn't as good.
he had that's where you started seeing a couple of things, and
You
it's
saw
like,
those holes, like those holes opened up a lot more. And
yeah,
I think that's the caveat, right? Is that Benucci, when played in his optimal position, he excelled. And that optimal position was as a support center back, not the main center back. And now that
yeah.
he's acting as the main, so you can look at Milan and you can look at him at Juve the past couple of years, where he's allegedly the captain in charge, and it just there's something not quite there. And it's like, okay, it's like when we play FIFA Pro Teams, and when I control my own character, I'm perfectly fine. As soon as I'm the captain, I have to control the computer. I fall apart, and my dude is like 50 feet offside, and I'm not, and the ball's going in my net. You know,
That's
like
why we gave Frank. That's why we gave it to Frankie.
that's why Frankie's the
Shout
captain
out
when we
to
play pro teams.
shameless plug here, guys. If you are on PC, you can join the Turin Giants on Pro Clubs. Frankie, Colin, Dave, and myself, we play, and we also stream to the YouTube. I believe we're a couple wins away from Division 8. So
One win. We have one game left. We're 2 points, and yeah, Division 8. We made Division 8, but we want to get the title.
yeah. So, and that's one of those things where it's like my and that was what my issue with Benucci was, like he had it, but and then it's like it's just not there because, like for example, and Frankie, you can probably, because you love Gatti with all your heart. But like for example, you look at the beginning of the season where Gatti was playing alongside Benucci, and yes, growing pains, but the thing is like there was a lot of gaps and misreads and mispositionings by Gatti when he was playing alongside Benucci versus when Gatti was playing alongside Danilo, where you really saw Gatti shine when Gatti was next to Danilo instead of Benucci. So like the thing is like Benucci has the talent and the skills, but the issue that I have with them is there's more, especially that you have the armband and especially that you're the veteran guy. You're supposed to develop the people around you. I've never really seen Benucci do that because it's like, for example, you look at Rugani and Danilo this season together. Rugani looked pretty decent. I'm not going to lie. And then, like, for example, again, like we had backlines of Danilo, Gatti, and Rugani, and everyone, you would look at that on paper and you'd freak out, but it was decent. It was good. But and then it's like you look at games where you have Bonucci start this season, and it's just completely positioning's off. People are in different. The defenders are scrambled all over the place. You have Sandro trying to pull a dive off Savic, which makes absolutely no sense. No, but I'm just kidding. It's one of those things where it's just I don't know. It's that thing. Dave, open up the call lines. I gotta because the thing is like I need someone that's very pro Berardi, and I know Colin's that guy.
Colin is very pro Berardi.
I need to hear it because like the thing is like for me, Berardi always like I don't watch him often, but the times that I do watch him, it's always whenever he has those blunders. Like for example, the North Macedonia game and whatnot. So it's like
he can be very frustrating. Maybe I haven't seen the right stuff.
His stats are really good.
I know, but whenever I watch him, he looks horrible, and I just want to like just punch him in the dick and put Chiesa in, even though he's got an ACL tear.
Because my issue is Carnevale is going to try to essentially charge us the moon for Berardi, like 50 to 60 million for him.
That's absolutely too much for him, I think.
I think and once Colin gets in here, but I think the common ground is like if we can get him for 20 to 35, I think I'd sleep fine with it. I'd be okay with it.
All right, one more thing. I've had this on the screen forever. We dwelling on Bonucci here, but this is the one I thought died off, but just very interesting. More so how close the numbers are. 54 for keep Dybala. This was for what do you bring back Dybala for the 20 million euro release? So 54% said heck yeah, 46 said to leave him at Roma. So almost an even split. Is this fanboyism or like does that actually make sense? Bring back for 20 mil.
It does. Just because Allegri wants to play with the attacking midfielder. Yeah. So it's like the thing is you're gonna need Pogba's not healthy all the time, and then Dybala's not healthy all the time. So the thing is like you would need if you were to get Dybala in for 20 million for his release clause, his contract would have to not exceed six. That would be my logic. Like if Dybala is coming in asking for like a 10 million a season contract, kick rocks. Because like with all due respect, his season at Roma was decent, but like he didn't really do anything for Roma. Barring the 10-point deduction, Roma finishes 7th. 1 point or 1 spot less than they did the previous year. So it's like I don't know. Like for me, if it works financially, I don't mind it. But at the same time, your attacking midfielder is Pogba and Dybala.
Hey, Dan Dab's first member. Thank you so much. All the OGs. Yeah, there was talk about getting together like the OG Avengers.
Yeah.
Go all superhero on our ass.
David said that. All right, Colin's in. All right, Colin, I need you to convince me and Dave to sign Domenico Berardi.
Here we go.
Well, I'm actually going to disappoint you a little bit. I'm very, very pro Berardi, but his contract is till like I think 27, 28 or something like that.
So we're
exactly. Thank you. There's no purchasing, so I think whatever points I make are kind of irrelevant because I don't think it's a good purchase for us. And if we are going to spend 50 million, it's got to be on a 23-year-old, not a 28-year-old.
Okay. So I mean,
I'm super pro, but it's not the right opportunity.
Okay, well, tell us the pros then about him.
Yeah.
The guy's a fucking pit bull. Okay, he's a dog. He's an absolute dog. He's a fighter. Our big problem with him before is he got too many cards. I'm someone who gets a lot of cards, so God bless. But it's just his grit. I think he really embodies what Italian football used to be, which is a lot of talent with even more grit. And I think our team is sorely in need of that. I would prefer somebody in the middle of the park with those kind of qualities, but I'll take it wherever I can get it because I don't think there's a player on our team that physically scares any team that we face.
You would think Vlahovic, but not.
Yeah, really. I know. Vlahovic is too busy taking Instagram pictures in suits and boats, man. Like that guy.
Suits that are too large for him.
Yeah. That's my biggest gripe with Dusan is that kid's in a make it or break it season. And like, look, I understand like they're human and whatnot, but like you're in the off season. You got to be figuring something out. Like if you put in Instagram videos of you shooting with your right foot, I'd be okay with that. But like the dude to me is like more focused on watches and suits than actually like improving his game. But moving back on, go ahead.
Sorry. Can we agree that it's the last 2 weeks of his holidays? Last week of his holidays? I mean, yeah, he can take some time off. No.
I can agree with that. But at the same time, it's just he's at a pivotal moment because, like, for example, Bayern Munich said out loud, Harry Kane's are A, Osimhen's are B, and we're not even looking at Dusan.
Well, he's a C.
A C or a D.
Well, as I have a lot of Bayern friends, and I always like to see them successful in their own league. So, but one thing I can say for sure is that they're not spending money, real money.
No. I didn't think they
It's
would.
once
They don't
in a
have
blue
tons
moon,
of money.
right?
Yeah.
So
So I kind of wanted to bring up this stat that you were talking about with Berardi as a pit bull, and you're, outside of 2 anomaly seasons, and those are just more so with injuries. Domenico Berardi has averaged 31 games in Serie A for almost the last 10 years.
Can we take a pause for a sec? Because Frankie's in here. You didn't even like welcome him.
Our pro club's
captain.
captain. I disrespected our pro club's captain.
Pro club's captain.
Captain, my captain. Yeah.
And now our second newest. Sorry, can't bring you on as the newest member because Dan.
No,
Dan's
Dan to you. I know Frankie was first, and then it was
yeah. So he's not our newest, is what I'm saying. He's our second
newest.
newest.
Second newest.
But yeah, welcome in, Frankie. This is the regular OG crew. Really, it's becoming now. Isak, it's too late in the morning. Can't get him in tonight. But
I do have his points when we start to talk about SMS and Parisi because he did send us his points on the chat. So
oh, that's right. He preloaded.
He preloaded.
He had to make sure he got his points across.
Yeah. So Dofia is asking the question that Dave and I kind of mentioned earlier. So Colin, he loves Berardi, but he only remembers that open goal miss versus North Macedonia. So it's like one of those things where it's like,
you know what though? Sorry, I have to cut you off this time. Everyone talks about that game, but like we forget about the times that he killed it during the Euros with all of his tracking, his aggressiveness. He had incisive cuts throughout the qualifying round. So we remember the one bad thing. Yeah, that sucked. It was terrible, and I can't defend it. But at the same point in time, there were several other players that sucked during that game.
No, I feel like I was frustrated with him throughout that tournament, though. There was a couple decent moments, but there was also a lot of times it was still just like, what's he doing?
So I'm going to come in here with a biased take. And the thing is like, I think Berardi isn't shown in the greatest light with Italy because he has Immobile as his main number 9. Or if, and this is a big if Dusan, Milik, and Keane are in form, I think Berardi looks a lot better. I think Berardi, even at Sassuolo, I think Berardi's been the main guy the entire time. So it's like, even though they had Scamacca and they've had Raspadori and other strikers, I still think the main guy is Berardi. Where it's like, I think if, again, I'm hoping that Chiesa and Dusan are firing. Because if you have those two firing, then then you can see Berardi kind of go for it, and then I think you can see Berardi work and cook a lot better. Because like that's the one thing I think was Immobile was terrible. So then all the teams that would play Italy are like, okay, watch their wingers.
It's terrible.
And then Komikas is saying that Berardi is an Interista, so it is a big no for me, dog.
Yeah, I wonder how much that weighs on the situation because Inter's not looking at him at all. Is this one you just kind of throw your allegiances away?
Well, let's not pretend like he wasn't already a Juventini 10 years ago.
He was, yeah. Technically he was.
Isn't everyone says they are when they join the team?
Even Lukaku.
No.
Yeah, even Lukaku.
Didn't we own Berardi for a little bit?
Yeah, he was part of our. Him and Immobile were both in the.
That's what I mean. So,
but like by who's their childhood love? That kind of idea is what I'm saying.
I mean, like, there's so many. Everyone's got their childhood. Italy's so fractured in that sense that I mean, like, does it really matter?
Well, no, it's just
to a certain degree, I suppose. But I mean, you're not going to hit every time.
No, and that's all I'm kind of posing as a question is like that. How much is that going to really make a difference? If even if Inter is his favorite team, but there's no chance he's going to Inter and Juve's there, then, I mean, does it even matter? I don't think it does, really. I mean, yeah, it's always cool to live out your childhood dreams, but how many professional athletes never play for the team that they grew up watching?
Yeah, so like for example, look at George Weah. George Weah was like a huge Juventino, but he went to Milan. So,
Yeah.
But the one thing though, so this kind of gives me a little bit more confidence or more kind of like eyes to it. Is like, for example, so Giuntoli wants Berardi as like the number one priority as an acquirement or as acquiring Berardi. So for me, if can we agree that Giuntoli has some good street cred right now, currently, with his scouting and his team building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but he has some missteps as well.
he does. But do you think we give him the benefit of the doubt for Berardi?
Well, we hired him, so I mean, like, why
Yeah.
give him? Why
I
go
mean-
through all this shit to get him and then not let him do his thing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to give him the trust at this point.
Because
No.
like Berardi is one of the most consistent performers in Serie A. Like I think that is a fact. Like yeah, he has some low moments, but overall, I mean, last season 12 goals, 7 assists in 26 matches because he was out injured January to like March. So he's got that's 19 goal contributions as a winger. Like that's pretty damn good.
It's decent,
Yep.
yeah. And it's Sassuolo, too, remember? It's not like it's a high... It's very mid-table.
Well, yeah, and the other thing too is like I still think like this isn't De Zerbi Sassuolo, like this is Dionysi's. So like I think these stats are actually have a lot more merit than De Zerbi Sassuolo because
We're kind of convincing ourselves right now, eh?
well, I mean this is kind of why we're all here, right? But like the thing is, it's like I think he performed. In my opinion, I think he performed better for a worse Sassuolo than he did. Like for example, De Zerbi, because I think Dionisi isn't as good as De Zerbi is as a coach. So, like, the fact that he had 19 goal and assist contributions in 25 matches, I mean, if he played the full 31, 32 that he normally does, I think he would have probably hit, 20 goals contributions. I think he would have hit that easy. Because, I mean, it's right now, who's on top right now? Just Crava, and then probably Berardi is like second or third.
Probably, if I had to guess without looking at the stats. I'll look them up for you.
So Yusuf brings up the question: if Berardi's playing as a right wing, if we play 3-5-2, would he fit in or as a number 10? So here's my thing: if we go for Berardi, if he's the main guy that we go for, I really think it's either a 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3.
Yeah,
Where
I
I'm
think
starting to lean more like a 3-4-3. That's what we might be lining up in.
most definitely we are. If he's brought in, that's indicative of we're going in exactly the direction you just said. It's
Yeah.
not a 3-5-2. There's no way.
It's 3 at the top.
Yeah.
It would have to. There's no way. Though I'm kind of interested to see with the
It is
midfield.
Allegri, though.
It is Allegri. Because Allegri does want to put Fagioli in as a defensive midfielder, as a CDM, as a regista. So I'm very curious to see.
No.
Okay, go
I
for it.
disagree. I disagree.
No,
Why do
I
you guys
don't.
hate it?
I
No, love
dude,
it.
I don't like it. He balls out too much in his natural position to be a CDM at this point. I don't think he'll fit the regista role. I mean, I feel like you'll have a better chance of converting Gatti to that like CDM role over Fagioli at this point.
You have to take what Frankie says about Gatti with a grain of salt, though, because there's like massive fanboys
Well,
going on.
yeah, fanboy, but I mean, it's the truth. We were saying it during the middle of the season. Yo, this guy should be playing a midfielder. He's balling out up front and in the back. We were saying
Who said that?
multiple times we said it during certain live streams. We were talking about converting him to a potential CDM.
He
That
could.
is crazy
Because he
talk.
could do it. He could do it.
How's that? Do you see him run up and dribble? Like he could technically be converted
Yeah,
if
like-
we needed to.
It's lovely the 2 or 3 times he does it a game, but
Yeah, well,
luckily
he's playing that
it's
CDM
not
role.
the same as FIFA. There's
But
no
we
way
gotta
he's- no.
say this though. Like the benchmark for him as a CDM with what we were running last season was not that high.
Okay, and there is that, and that was a
Yes.
lot to do with it, is because there wasn't really a better alternative. And when there is no better alternative, you can be like, "Hey, Gatti, that actually seems like a pretty good idea. You can do that." So it's not outside the realms of possibility. But yes, what you want to build the team properly and not do that at the same.
Did
Fine,
I just hear a beer bottle open in Colin's background? No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's a Scotch night. But I can't believe I'm listening to this.
It's not impossible though, right? You can't be like, no, it can never happen because
It
technically
can
it probably
never
could.
happen over Fagioli.
I could totally see it happen.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go with what Dave said about your bias over with Gatti. Because
No, it's not even just bias. You gotta think about it.
my
Let's
brain
say for
is
example,
aching thinking about it.
Let's say for example, just a little bit of example, something were to happen, to like one of our CDMs, maybe, and if maybe something happens to Fagioli, we don't know. The guy, he might not hit the gym this summer. Who knows? And the guy's pretty weak, just like Moretti. They both get bodied easily. I mean,
The guy that bodied him was like straight out of Vikings Nordslam, and then he bodied. If you remember, the very next game he bodied somebody else from I think it was Inter. So like just a big lad. Fagioli,
throw in Gatti as CDM. Matter of fact, throw him in at Cam.
Bones is here.
I was waiting for you to say throw Ochoa in his number as a striker.
No. As much as I love Ochoa, I have some bias and stuff with Mexico, but no, realistically, I wouldn't want him in Juve.
Right,
He's just not.
Ochoa is one of the most
not
exciting
there.
keepers to watch.
He is.
Yeah, he'll make camera saves for days, but he's not consistent enough in like the actual league to like.
That's why he's great internationally. He's got to play a month.
I don't know why we have to talk about Ochoa every single time. Bones, welcome to the chat.
So we're contractually obligated. We're being sponsored by the
I'm here
Mexican national
to make
team.
Colin even more mad.
Okay.
I agree.
You guys are just doing it to piss him off. But hey, let's open up with this question from Yusuf. So Yusuf is saying, but if we do three in the front, would we have an issue with depth? We are selling Illing, Suling. I said Suling. I'm thinking of Suning. We're selling Illing, Sule, possibly Chiesa. What would the depth look like?
Yeah, he's making a lot of assumptions in that statement, though.
Frankie just put a cowboy hat on.
I do.
Straight from Mexico, man. Straight from Mexico.
Though, I think out of Sule and Illing, I think Juve cashes in on Illing before they cash in on Sule.
I don't want to see Illing go.
I don't. I get it.
I know.
It just makes sense with him being an English
I know what
player.
you're saying.
Like England will pay the 25 mil for their own English player. I can see that. And that's a lot of money for, I mean, a very small investment.
Look, all I'm going to say this, take Illing to the North America tour, start him every single game, run him every single minute. If he gets like 3-5 goals during the North American tour, you sell him for 60 million.
Ay.
Hey, all I'm saying is the minute if Illing goes to Premier League, I guarantee you he gets on the English international team.
Hold on, guys. This is why we've been in trouble the past like 20 years with our own like upbringing. We're not a farm. We're Juve.
I want to keep him. I'm a big Ealing fan, but like,
I had to troll. I'm sorry. I had to troll the Premier League people.
At this point, Premier League people are fools. They'll pay anything for anybody English. It's that English tax.
In all seriousness, though, like at what point where do we stop thinking about the money? I realize, yes, like the whole fantasy of the whole club thing is pretty much done and over, but like trophies should be the biggest thing, and this guy's got it, man. He's got it. He's gonna go somewhere else and win.
Probably.
I think the main question where we kind of have to shift from, because the thing is like we were told at the beginning of the summer we need to make 100 million, 120 million of profit,
give or take. Yeah, I think
give or take. So I think that's one of the things where it's like once we kind of get out of this, because I'm pretty positive, barring an absolute catastrophe next season, we're finishing in Champions League places.
No,
like,
Scudetto.
Yeah, Scudetto or bust. But like, I mean, I'm saying like worst case scenario, it's top 4. Worst case, because the roster, the talent that we have currently at this day of recording, should easily challenge for the title. Am I wrong here? Or am I not?
No, I mean you're right and wrong. It's boom or bust, man.
Yeah.
Like we're not a second place team, and I don't want to sound like self-righteous, but I mean like we are Calcio. So
except we don't have the Paramount Plus on our shirt. Darn, big rip. No, I'm just kidding.
You have to agree now because I know Colin hates the Jeep thing here. The Ronaldo jersey, when we went with fewer, thicker stripes, that jersey, It does look a lot like the front grille of the newer Jeeps.
It does.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And actually, I should pull it up. My godson.
Frankie, start on the meme.
I'll find the picture one day. But my godson, so his my buddy's aunt owns like a Jeep dealership, a bunch of dealerships down in Toronto, and the Jeep is one of the big ones. So they had this little battery powered Jeep, and it was white. And I had actually, because I don't know, yeah, because there was a store. I had a store in Toronto that had a cheaper jersey. My buddy picked it up, so I had the new last year's jersey with the Jeep with the kid inside of it, and it was just like the perfect black and white Jeep branding scenario. And the kid was like, it was just a 2-year-old kid. I was just like, I can. It's like I'm selling the kid. And it's great. And I'm going to show you guys one day. That's my aside, and that went nowhere. Let's go on.
Anthony Aguchi saying, "Hey guys, I've been staying away from Juve lately because it's so depressing. Glad to hop on the train with you guys. This is at least optimistic." I see what you did there. I've been before the new season, including Serie B. Well, all aboard. No. David saying, "If we get Berardi," go ahead, Colin.
No, that's it. I'd say there's a question mark least.
And then David saying, if we get Berardi, I wouldn't sell Chiesa. That front three would be really good, honestly. Dusan, Chiesa, and Berardi would actually be nasty. Like as a front three, that would be ridiculous.
Don't you mean Chiesa, Berardi, and Romelu Lukaku?
That's bait.
It could
You
be.
thought we had a bus truck before, a bus touch before,
Yeah, that's
guys.
super cool.
Yeah, see, like the branding works. But anyways,
Except I can't
The
imagine
Jeep for a child is cool.
Yeah, I can't. You know, the thing is like, I don't Jeep in Europe just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I can't just sit there and imagine Europeans saying, I'm gonna buy a Jeep. Hey! It's like,
The Jeep seems like such an American car. Like, just,
I know.
Your doors off. You like that's such an American douchebag thing to do.
well, they're not selling the Wranglers. They're selling the
Just Jeep. Just Jeeps in general. Just Jeeps in general. Are just I went to one of the most American high schools possible, and everybody drove a Jeep.
The one thing Jeep has is like the aftermarket parts for them is ridiculous, bro. Like you can get headlights for like $50.
Yeah, well, but like, you can do that with the Honda Civic as well, and you can't, you won't be a douchebag.
Not as much. The Jeep, the amount of aftermarket there is for a Jeep is ridiculous. Like I was surprised how much shit you can get for a Jeep.
My friend.
I had an SRT, like a Grand Cherokee SRT, and I'm not gonna lie, like that is probably one of the funnest vehicles I've ever driven. But like,
you got a V8 in that bitch though.
Yeah, I do like the SRT. That's the only one.
I'm not gonna lie. The Jeep, they're Hemis, man. When the wine that the Hemis make is probably one of the best things.
Okay, I got a bone to pick with the Hemis. I'm gonna get nerdy here. Hemi means that you take the cylinder and you make it into a dome, a hemispherical dome. What that does is create less space in the cylinder, so you have higher compression. They made this technology in the 50s. It's not cool. It's not special. Shut up and move on. Make a proper engine. There's my rant.
At least good. Nobody mentioned the rotary engine to Dave. Dave's gonna lose his shit after that.
Oh, it's good if you want to replace every 7,000 miles, whatever.
Well, the rotary needs to develop more. They need to. Like actually,
they're making a new one. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor forever, but I've never seen it like actually come true.
Yeah. And yeah, Colin, the Hemi thing's absolutely branding, and that's what I'm trying to say. Is like, don't buy into the branding. Like, it's the branding's dumb. It's not. It's just not special.
Screw the Hemi. That thing's still went. I think it has like a turbo or a supercharger on it, but either way, it went like stink.
And when the new Hemi, when that 5.7 Hemi first came out, it was actually a really good engine. They just used it for 15 years, and they still said, "Oh, I got a Hemi," and it's like, dude, like that's move on. Just move on.
Ford did that EcoBoost crap.
Yeah.
Dofla says, guys, in regards to Illing, remember Kingsley Coman?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like Kingsley only has one title. Like he has not missed a title since he's.
Is he
ever? Yeah, he hasn't since his last 3 teams.
Is he Bayern's like definitive left wing starter, or is he still a rotational player?
I think him and Sane switch, don't they?
I think he's
Sane.
getting less
To be honest,
hours.
I don't follow Coman that much outside of like international play where I see Coman play. So like, I don't want to talk out of my ass here about Kingsley Coman. So
I actually like Coleman.
I defer Coman to you guys.
I believe him and Sane just like kind of like switch around.
Because that guy had like the most unique career, like
Phil, what are
PSG,
you
then
doing? Come
us,
here,
then Bayern. And then LLJ Illing eventually will be sold, but I believe we'll keep him for another season where he'll be about I got to get the English inflation tax on that. Dofia says we cannot challenge the title without at least a center back or possibly left back. That's why we're trading Dusan for Lukaku, which he responds by saying, I unironically would buy Lukaku and play him as a left center back. So yeah, we're on the same wavelength. He's going to be the best left back in the world, number one.
And then we buy Harry Maguire as a striker.
All right, chill out. This is not FIFA.
Anthony Iguchi says center backs and fullbacks are a must in this market. Right wing is needed. Savic would be a luxury. I think we'd have more to do with the player and the opportunity of one doing contract. All right, speaking of fullbacks, let's talk about Parisi. So Rocco Commisso wants to make more money off Juventus. So he has approached, or Joe Barone has approached. Really? I got the background picture? Okay, Frankie. They have approached Empoli to buy.
I'm eating my Greek food. Leave me be.
Okay.
So he's eating. So
he's eating a gyro. But Fiorentina is approaching Empoli to buy Parisi for 10+2, and they rejected our 10+ Ranocchia.
So there was news that came out today that basically they just want 15. They don't care who it is. They don't need to sell him. So they want the money that they asked for. So in any case, is Fiorentina going to come in at 15? Does Juve come in at 15?
I'm going to say this. The only reason Fiorentina wants Parisi is because they know that we want him, and then they'll buy him and then sell him to us for 40 million.
Yeah, they did just kind of come out of nowhere with it.
That's honestly, guys, that is Rocco Commisso's like business plan at this point. Buy players that Juve want, play them for a season or two, and then sell them to us for inflated prices.
I mean,
well, that's what we're doing with Illing to the Premier League.
Because think about it, like Biragi's their main left center or their left back. So why would they want Parisi unless Parisi is just going to sit on the bench? Where in theory he's technically a starter if he comes to Juve.
No, they're gonna loan him to Juve with mandatory buy option.
Yeah, for like 80 million.
Exactly.
You got to think the will of the player. Does he want to play for Fiorentina or go to Juve as a starter? And it's that simple. I can't answer for the guy, but I think I know what he would choose.
Yeah, I think his whole family's Juventino, so it's like.
Now we're back to that discussion. But yes, if you have the opportunity to play for your childhood team, then as a starter, no less.
Look, that's my thing is maybe they're trying to kind of do something with this sale price or something, but I don't see him going anywhere else. I think we pick him up. I don't know when, but it's like I told you back in that like episode that you and I recorded where I don't really feel threatened unless like Fiorentina offer Parisi the moon with a ridiculously expensive contract, but like I doubt it.
They buy him for 20, so they can still sell him to us for 80.
Yeah. Dofla says, ever since Parisi's mother spoke about the transfer to Juve, I got flashbacks of Aouar's mother during the whole damn thing. What a bullet we dodged with Aouar.
Honestly.
How much was he going for? It was like 50 or something ridiculous?
60 to 70 million.
Oh.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like next big midfielder, and dude just I don't know.
I remember, what was it back then? Momblano was telling Beppe, he's like, Aouar is already a Juventus player. Like I remember that was like crazy. It was like back in 2020, and then ironically, we ended up going with our tour. I mean, it's not like we won either way, but
I don't know. We might have still lost that one.
That to me, I was concerned because like the second Aouar cooked us in the Champions League, we got linked to him.
That always happens.
I was just like, oh come on. Like let's be honest here, all players that have cooked us in the Champions League have not really worked out that well. Barring maybe Ronaldo, because Ronaldo did actually ball out. He did get the stats, but yeah, big dodging of the bullet there. David saying, even then, Parisi would have not agreed to a deal to Fiorentina. They can't just sell him without his agreement. That's why he would do a sidestep move, 100%. And then Dofia says Fiorentina have Terzic too, a talented upcoming left back. So I think Fiorentina is just trolling us when it comes to Parisi. Maybe they're trying to make us inflate our price and spend more money than we want to, kind of like what we do to Inter, because I believe because the reason why I think the Lukaku links are happening is because Chelsea wants 40 million, like flat line for Lukaku, and Inter's like, I'll give you 30 plus 10 million in bonuses. And then Chelsea's like, the bonuses have to be goal line clearances. And Inter's like, no way. But yeah, I think they dropped the Juve links to scare Inter into purchasing 40 million outright, which where does Inter get all this money?
The Paramount Plus sponsorship.
No, but seriously, because it's like,
yeah,
it's like 20 million for Fertese, now 40 for Lukaku, and I thought these guys needed to sell.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, you think they got a sugar daddy somewhere? You know, just sliding them some coin.
And Daddy Sooning. Daddy Sooning.
Yep.
Anthony coming in saying Bragi is terrible defensively. Come on, I'm trying to say that he's good, so Fiorentina don't buy another left back. Play with me here. You got to run with me here. We know he sucks, but we want Fiorentina people to think that he's good. Parisi going to Fiorentina would be a huge blunder on our part. Absolutely. He is a guaranteed starter for Juve if he comes in, which shows how crappy we are in this position. So I know we're on the Parisi Express, but what happened to Cambiaso? I know he's back, but like, is his stock down?
From what it looks like, it's just there's like no trust in him. From what it seems like. From what it seems like, I don't know what. Maybe it's just like something that happened in the locker room or something after he came back that we don't know of. But it just seems like they don't have trust in him, and I don't understand why. Or is it just Parisi's the new like shiny toy and we want to get him kind of thing? Like is that what it is?
Because you have Weah technically as your right wing / right wing back / right back or whatever the hell Allegri decides to play next season, and then Cambiaso is a right back, I believe. So it's like maybe it's what Anthony says that he's a level below, and that's one of those things where they're saying he's supposed to be tested in the U.S. tour. Because I know like a lot of people because we were willing to cut his loan early in January because people thought that he might have the sauce to really come in and play. So I don't know. That's interesting. And then Dofia says Inter's going to make a 55 million plus Valenzan Onana.
Oh yeah, that's right. United. Because De Gea is now a free agent. Crazy. I can't believe De Gea as a free agent is ridiculous to me in the first place.
Yeah, he kind of attached him to that team for so many years.
I think he was just tired. He was just tired of Maguire.
He was just tired of not having a competent front back line.
I don't really blame him.
Relevant.
Yeah, he hasn't really been doing much for I mean he's been like probably one of the saving graces in the last couple of years for United, but I mean the guy just needs to go somewhere else, and I feel like I'm kind of I think Oblak's on his way out. I think he goes back to reunited with Atletico Madrid.
I think he goes to Spain. That's fair. That's valid.
I mean, he came to United from Atletico. I think he goes back.
I can see that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Especially on a free.
And then Anthony Aguchi says, if we play a 3-5-2 Allegri ball this year, I might call it quits in November. We should. Weah should only be a utility player at right wing or right back.
So Anthony, never give up, because when your team does finally do well, it feels so much better. It does. Remember, I've explained this before. I'm a fan of Trump. So
Dave is a Maple Leafs fan.
Also a TFC fan who has one of the highest budgets in the league, and they somehow are doing worse.
Hey, can I ask you a TFC question?
I'm a Bucks fan. I'm already sad.
So what's the deal with Bernardeschi and headbutting the shit out of people?
I obviously didn't see that. I haven't been paying much attention to them.
Our goat Bernardeschi, like Zidane style, headbutted somebody.
Really? That's Lord Berna.
What did that? I gotta look this up.
Yeah, he had this whole announcement.
I'm going on Twitter.
Frankie's gonna be our guy. Frankie's our Twitter guy. But like,
because obviously
he had an
the news
apology.
didn't really get into it.
He had a long post apologizing for it. He's like, this doesn't reflect me. I understand we're in a terrible situation.
A month.
Blah, blah,
Okay,
blah,
this is a
blah.
month ago. Okay, yeah, that was just before the coach got fired.
Like,
I'm telling you, it's a hot mess there right now.
Did Berardi headbutt the coach or did he headbutt a player?
Stop saying
Berardi.
Fuck
Bernadeschi. What the hell is wrong with you?
Come on.
Colin got me on the Berardi train. I'm sorry.
It looks like a player.
Yeah, I found the video. Yeah, it's a player.
Yeah, you can share it if you want.
You messed with the names all by yourself, man.
Yeah, he was shoving him with his head and then headbutt him after the fact. So like they literally.
Oh, that's not that bad. That's okay.
Yeah,
it
was just kind of like a head like just literally touching heads, and then he decided to like do a little shove with his head.
Well, maybe it's Bernadeschi's mating call.
Yeah.
It's not like a headbutt. It's like literally just like a little shove. It's like a love tap.
Yeah, Bernadeschi just loves him. See, look at that. He's like, hey, I'm just squaring up with you. Yeah.
He's trying to give him a little kiss. Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, just a little bit of a peck.
Oh, look, they got an Acuna over there playing as ref.
Yeah, and I did the pause in there. Sorry, guys, just to
copyright.
Yeah,
that's Acuna over there as a ref.
Try not to get kicked out of YouTube.
Yeah,
just played in like really fast speed and super high pitch.
Is it too soon to say pull a Beppe? Or is that gonna?
No.
It's funny now that he got it back.
I feel bad for him. The dude's like
I felt bad for when I
because like the thing is like YouTube.
Shit.
YouTube sucks. Like as I'm saying it as we're on YouTube, but like YouTube is terrible when it comes to this because it's like you would think even like a channel with Bepe's size, like he would have like an actual YouTube representative assigned to him, and like they still wouldn't even tell him.
So, and that's the thing, 26,000, obviously within our community, that's quite large, but
in the grand scheme of things,
it really isn't. They still don't care about you at that point.
I just found it interesting because like I remember when he posted on Twitter and it was like they're saying that like YouTube was like, you're saying your channel is one thing and it's not. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, unless he's saying that it's like a video game reviews or an anime channel, like if you look at his channel tags, it's literally everything that he does. Like either somebody like secretly hates him and is like,
oh no, I think there's people that publicly hate him.
Yeah,
that guy, sure. If you want to blame Nima, we can do that.
Like that's one of those things where it's just like I don't understand because like it happened the one time, it got appealed, and then like the appeal got appealed and it got taken away, and then now it's back.
Okay, so I see here from Anthony here. He's obviously in Toronto, so this is just another shit team that he's going through right now. And if I was to guess, you'd say you're gonna quit Juve, but you are a masochist because you are from Toronto. Just living in Toronto means you're a masochist, so you'll be back.
It's the same thing this past year being a Wisconsinite, man. Just every single sports team has just been shitting the bed. The Bucks, the Packers. Even the Brewers right now.
You guys lost Aaron Rodgers. That's like the greatest thing that'll happen to your guys' franchise.
Oh, that's honestly, I feel like the team will actually somehow like, dude, if they perform this year, it'll be crazy.
I mean, you're not gonna beat the GOAT and Jared Goff, but no.
And I mean, especially when you live out in a place like that, you need something. Really?
Well, I mean, what is it? To be honest with you, Frankie, I think the Bucks are going to get Dame. Like they'll find a way to get Dame.
Yeah, they just re-signed the Lopez brothers, and so I'm happy about Brook. I like Brook Lopez a lot.
Dofla doesn't care about your America sport here. He's got real pressing. All
right, okay.
Sorry, not to derail you guys.
Bones can answer this one. I want to hear your thoughts on a possible Chiesa, Keens, and Yolo trident.
Bro, I have way more faith in Keane than I do on Dusan, bro. I don't know. I'm on the
Keane 45 goals confirmed next season if he runs with Chiesa and Zaniolo.
If they actually played the guy, like, I don't know why he doesn't get the time he deserves.
Can we like? I'll throw that to you guys in the panel. Like, if Keane actually gets like consistent minutes, I think Keane could actually be a beast.
Now think about this. What if we run the Chiesa, Dusan, Keane trident?
He did play as a right wing in PSG.
He can't play as a wing. It could work.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. I even said throughout the season,
do like the Mandzukic deal, you know, when you
Yeah.
kind of just throw him on the wing.
This is another thing I've noticed about Keane's play is he can make spaces for other players. Like
he does do that. Yeah, he's got
And-
bit more awareness.
He's just so damn big, dude. He just will be over here just moving through people.
so I feel like even if you put like Dusan and Keane together, like Keane can provide the space that Dusan actually needs to do anything.
Yeah, and they more often than not would have swapped them out and not played them together. I would have maybe liked to see that.
Yeah.
But maybe they do it in the training pitch.
Majority of the time, it was like, you know, Dusan and Milik playing together, and then, you know, Keane coming on for Dusan majority of the time. Or Milik, you know, if Milik was tired because he old.
Okay, so
really?
maybe
Barely 30 though.
Well, old it to me.
Shit, Frankie, you calling me old? Damn.
Jesus.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm barely gonna be 22 this year.
Gosh,
young,
man.
just a
My
young
gray hairs are showing.
So Dave's saying, I have more faith in Berardi than Zaniolo, fitter and more of a fighter. What if we had Chiesa? You like him as a 10, so put Chiesa as a 10. Then you got Berardi, Keane, and then say Zaniolo would be the 10. So yeah, he's still Zaniolo is the 10.
Zaniolo would be like the false 9. If you're not running Dusan, you'd run Zaniolo as a false 9, and then you'd have Chiesa and Berardi flank them.
But if you kept Keane as well,
Well, yeah, you could.
You can have a quadrant.
If you're gonna do that, then you're running a 4-2-3-1.
That would be wild. And they're all a bunch of Italians. Let's do it. Let's buy into that. Let's simp on the whole, like, throw a bunch of Italians on their front line and see what happens.
Yo, I'm gonna throw some more Mexican bias. Let's do it. Let's get some Mexican players in there. Bring in El Piojo, Roberto Alvarado. Dude can play up all positions up front. Bring him in as a utility. Come on, he's like $7 million, cheap, 24 years young. Bring him in.
And then Anthony will never quit Juve. I'm just honest. Just honest without a ton of optimism. Juve seem they're headed into the abyss. I don't see how that will change this year or from the last two. Look, I get it. I understand. There's a lot of naysay and stuff like that when there's going in regards to it. And, you know, here at the TG, like, we understand things aren't the greatest, but we're also trying to look at some of the good stuff that's going there and potentially some stuff that's happening. We're not, the one thing I know that Dave and I aren't going to do, we're not going to pop smoke in your ass and say, like, for example, Ayling's going to be top 2 winger in the world at Juve and finish his career. Like, I think we're cautious optimism with how we do things around here.
The new season, though, is always exciting because it's something new. It's that rebirth, right? So yeah, I'm going to be excited and optimistic until I see otherwise.
Because think about it, we finally have a sporting director that's on a 5-year contract. That's not a weird promotion from inside. Because, like, come on, Cherubini as a sporting director, like, I feel like the guy had no idea what the hell he was doing.
And David, he's saying 2 or of those 4 would be out all the time of those Italians.
Yeah,
David, stop being so German. Like,
this is a
dream. I'm just dreaming right now.
They're not like those. Yo, David. They're not like the guys at the German gym. You know, they're not over there all on, you know, a whole bunch of magic powder.
He shared a photo yesterday of
the guy
he was working
jersey.
out. The Juve Ronaldo jersey and the Messi Barcelona Nike track pants at the same time.
But that's such a gym thing, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I've never seen that.
Dofla said, remember when we somehow had like a 13 win streak when Keane starts in last season? Yeah, and Keane had, I believe we called it here on the channel, Keane had 6 of the game-winning goals during that undefeated streak.
Keane, man. I've always liked him, and I've been called crazy.
He's good, Keane, man, you know.
Keane has the cheese goal factor.
Dude, are you sure Keane's not from, like, Wisconsin because of how cheesy his goals are?
Oh man, that joke was Dash level. Wow,
you made Dash proud.
I'm gonna put Keane in the Packers jersey. We gonna do it.
Dash is like a proud father right now.
Yeah, Keane is. To be honest with you, like, for our folks, like, Keane is how I view Jared Goff. Like, that's honestly it. Like, I have some folks that are like, "Why are you so high on Jared Goff?" I'm like, "Trust me, I'm doing it for the memes."
Dude, all of my memes, because I don't have Photoshop. They all get made on Snapchat. Literally, they all get made on. They all get made on stickers, like around the head on a transparent picture, and then I throw it.
You know, Frankie, I think you could download Adobe Photoshop for free.
Yeah,
with your
listen,
student
I
ID.
just don't know how to use it.
Dave made a video on it.
I did.
I don't know how to use it.
I made a video on how to do it.
I'm gonna go watch the video. I'm gonna go watch the video.
If you got, I can help you out. I'm by no means an expert, but I mean, I do whatever that was on the thumbnail every day. I'm
probably gonna have to do like some kind of like design class because I'm doing
just some YouTube stuff.
I'm doing I'm doing the I'm engineering school, so I have to.
I get it.
I have to do this. I have to do computer design and stuff. So yeah.
Dofla saying a Lil Zaniolo loan never hurt anybody. Yeah, but Galactasaray is gonna say, hey, the loan obligations are like 30 million in bonuses, but if he wins the Ballon d'Or or if he ties his shoes properly.
Yeah, watch that video.
Watch that video with the Lions Den, man. They break down Galactasaray's transfer strategy. Juvento MC says, do you guys think Juve will play a 3-5-2 or 4-3-3 against Udinese? Not asking for your preferred formations. First of all, my good friend, going off the reports, it's going to be either a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-3, not a 4-3-3. So those are the two alleged formations that will start.
It's just so early.
It depends on who we get. It's way too early at this point.
It is way too early. This is insane.
I think it's
what if Bonucci goes?
I think it's gonna. Yeah, if Bonucci goes, we're playing 3-4-3.
It's not insane. That's got to be the first question asked before you start purchasing players. You don't just purchase players and be like, okay, now that we've got A, B, and C.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We don't know who they're purchasing. Like the management should know.
For management, they should know like what formation they want to play to like kind of build around like that formation by getting the players to fit the pieces. But us as like fans, we have no clue.
It's all rumors.
It's just all rumors because like all we can do is speculate based off their purchases what formation we're going to be playing.
Going with the player links that we have, it's 3-4-3.
Lukaku.
I'd really like to see Jonathan David here.
But you're being
no. I would also like
Canadian, and this dude
David.
Came out of Ottawa.
Dude, I would. Super
local. Okay.
I would love to see him too, just because I mean, this guy has been balling out in the league for such a long time, and just for some reason never got a move.
It would be interesting if he would fit in, how he'd play. Like I would be down for it.
All he wants is to be a winger. Like literally,
why hasn't anybody bought him yet?
There's got to be some kind of like personal.
There's no way.
I don't know. There's something because like
he's Canadian.
There's no way. There's no way he hasn't gotten a move.
There's no way a Canadian could be that good. You had Jonathan David. What's the chance there's two Canadians that are that good?
Jonathan David has been balling out for the last few years. Like,
because
that's why Bayern's so consistent. They're always taking risks on players.
That's why Lille won.
Yeah, because like Lille had Osimhen prior to Jonathan David, and it's like they got him, and it's just like they have a pretty good track record of making offensive players. Anthony's saying if we change coaches, my attitude would be dramatically different. I love Allegri, but it seems like rotting filet mignon at this point. Keane will come good by the week. It's a lot of.
It sounds like you don't like Allegri.
So what he's saying is that he was once a really fine cut of meat, but now he's just a rotten piece of shit.
He's just been beating his meat really hard. And Calcio with Rhino Z says, "What's going on, peasants?" I mean, I think
peasants. He's calling us a bunch of peasants.
I thought he was calling us paisanos, but whatever.
That's what I was thinking too. I was about to say
paisanos.
Oh, maybe it's paisans.
But Chuck says, Chuck says, no Lukaku, please. And then Dofla says Allegri's not a 3-4-3 manager. Allegri's got to look. The one thing that I got to criticize Allegri on, that dude's got to have to learn to adapt to the new style of the game, man. Either you adapt or you go to Saudi Arabia, one of the two. David says we need to chill out. We just added one player so far. I think he's talking in regards to predicting the formations.
Yeah.
And then Calcio with Rhino Z hops back on saying Lukaku. No, come on.
Yeah, people must be seeing the thumbnail. They're like, no, we can't do this. Shut this down.
I'm just waiting for Inter fans to just start hopping into the video because I see a Lukaku thumbnail, but I guess we haven't had that yet.
No, Inter fans are going to be in comments saying, yeah, take our sloppy seconds.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I was gonna say I was waiting for Nemo to take us out of context and say that we should get fired from our jobs.
I mean, at this point, technically, Lukaku's like filthy force. Everton, Chelsea, Inter. He's just
Megan the Stallion.
Don't follow.
She dumped him right after that final.
That did not last at all.
She dumped him right after that final.
She saw the shine, and she didn't want the shine no more.
Yeah. So confirmed, Paisanos. Yeah, Frankie with the Spanish flair there. You picked on it quicker than us.
Well, yeah,
English dummies.
It's just because like I watched like some other like kind of like Italian channels and Paisanos, you know.
Yeah, no. Like it's just you so used to English coming in, and all of a sudden then it throws you off. But you
like the kind of like different.
You picked up. So kudos.
And then Anthony coming back in saying if they stick with a 3-5-2, David would be a great player to play off Vlahovic. Means Chiesa would leave though, surely. I think that's the one thing. I think at the end of the summer, it's going to be one or the other. I don't think both Chiesa and Dusan stay.
It does seem like that right now. It does seem more Vlahovic with all the rumors that are coming through.
Newcastle, buy him.
Yeah,
I'll drive him to the airport. I'll have Hamza wait for him there.
Send him on the tram.
Newcastle might be looking at Bonucci. I don't know if they would actually buy him. I think that they'll get him for free. Essentially, is what it is.
If you look at Newcastle, so that means Bonucci would be playing in Champions League.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Bonucci would be playing in Champions League this season with Newcastle.
Yeah, why not? Let him go.
I mean, play with Ronaldo. No, Ronaldo
I mean, I'd see him going to Newcastle because Newcastle wants like a veteran in the defense for Champions League. I mean, they got the GOAT Loris Karius as well on their squad, so you know they obviously love their meme players.
It could make sense for them, and if they have a bit of money, like it's not going to cost. They're basically paying his wages for a year.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're a defender. They have really good defenders. Like, well, not good, but like they have solid defenders. They have Fabian Schär, they have Lascelles and Botman, who are like all solid guys.
Yeah.
And then you got Kieran Trippier on the right. You know, like Newcastle has like a solid.
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty decent.
Like decent little back line. Like, you know, I mean.
But is it because now that they are playing in the Champions League, they just need that extra bit of depth?
That'd be Tonali playing with Bonucci.
I think it's a Newcastle Saudi package deal. If he goes there, he retires in Saudi Arabia because Newcastle is owned by like Al Saud or one of the major ones.
Yeah, that
so
could
I
be
think that would be kind of a retirement package to go there for a year, do his last bout of Champions League, and then off Saudi Arabia for trillions of dollars.
Yeah. Dude, imagine Bonucci long balls from the back and from Newcastle all the way up to Alexander Isak, who is like 6'12" or something. I don't think he's that tall, but he's a tall dude.
He'd be Ronaldo. Ronaldo's gonna invoke his Newcastle clause in his contract.
How tall is he? Yeah, Alexander Isak, 192 centimeters. He's a tall dude.
And then David saying, I can't imagine this world where he plays with Bianconeri and misses last minute header. As far as Inter fans laugh at us, Mamma Mia, touche. Reno says, not Rhino, please. He caught me. I was messing with him. Jay Juve says Bonucci is 100% going to be on Italy because Mancini loves him, and I think it's best that he leaves. I think before 2024, I don't think we see Bonucci leave Europe. So I think that's kind of where it falls in line with the Saudi package that we were talking about just now. JJ Juve says, as backup, Bonucci could be on a good Champions League team, definitely not as a starter. Anthony saying, in a 4-3-3, they should both stay. Dusan should only be sold for a profit, not for a break-even price. Chiesa cannot be sold. It would be madness.
From what we're hearing, that if you can cash in tons of money and just do a complete rebuild, sure.
I don't think Chiesa's got the heart to stay, and I think we all know that goes for Dusan as well. So maybe
and then you get Berardi and Zaniolo, or Dybala,
Icardi too,
and the card. Yeah. How do you? Okay. I'll just
we'll give him the link. He'll come in there and be like, "Hi guys, I just want to say that all of your takes are terrible, especially that Dash guy. I don't know why he even talks. He just sits here and butchers people's names."
You did just say JJ. You called him JJ.
You called him JJ Juve.
I know it's one of those things. I like to have plays on nicknames to see if people notice. That's why I was calling Rhino just to see if he noticed.
I think you're just trying to recover.
I don't recover. I just fall flat on my face and laugh about it.
Let's be honest.
Okay, so as much as I have my Mexican bias, there's actually like a solid left back who's been playing in the Belgian league for the last few years, who can play left and right back. He's 24 years old, and I think he's good value for money. I think he would actually be like a solid like option for a left back.
I hear you clicking in the background. Did you just find out about this player?
No. I've been meaning to bring him up this whole time. I had him up at the beginning of the stream because I was like looking at like this guy for like a while over the past few weeks, because I had seen him because like he's on the Mexico squad for the Copa America and stuff, you know, because they're playing tonight actually, but he's
Dash sees a letter improvs the rest. They say Chuck says I'd rather sign Wanda.
That's a Gerardo Arteaga. He plays for Genk.
Emotional damage.
They would say he's googling more Wisconsin cheese jokes.
No. That's it. I'll just say I'm presenting. Show my screen. We're doing this.
Hey Frankie, that's your Pornhub tab.
No.
Have you? Okay, there we go. I got it.
There we go. That's Gerardo Arteaga. He's a.
You got to
nice
zoom
little...
in. So we got some.
I got you.
Frankie, I get it. It's your first time. Dave and I will be gentle.
Boom. You got Gerardo Arteaga. Dude plays for Genk. You know, he's been with them since 2020. He's contract expires 2025.
Is that a pro club picture?
No.
No. He used a really bad picture.
He used to play in Mexico. Is
that why the cameras are so bad?
He looks
actually, yes.
I think it's an improvement to
I'm not.
cameras.
But I mean, the guy is good.
That picture is like he just got flashed by like a dime piece, and he just doesn't know what to do with his life.
So like his main position is going to be a left back, obviously, but he can play on both sides. So that's a little bit of some good versatility. You know, I mean, we don't know. I mean, let's say for example, Fiorentina does say like, hey, we're gonna completely cuck you and just take Parisi. I mean, I realistically think this guy would be a decent option.
It doesn't work like that though.
The thing is like, why is Molina an option when the dude has a 90 million release clause? I don't understand that.
Oh, because that's like that's the newspapers, man. That's
stupid.
why. It is dumb. That's why I don't believe it.
Anthony Aguchi saying Berardi is a provincial penalty merchant.
You can't even say provincial, right?
Jesus Christ.
Was it spelled correctly?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay, you know how like in America you have states, in Canada we have provinces.
Oh.
So we have like a provincial government and things.
Oh.
Okay, let's move on.
All right. He's okay next season without European competition, but he's really not a player to get excited about. And as we look towards near the future,
Disagree.
So, the thing is like this: for 60 million, I think we all agreed where it's like nah, but like for 20 to 30,
But you can't purchase him with 3 years left.
I know you can't do that, but
It's impossible. It's not a situation that will ever happen.
I don't think we get him at all, to be honest with you.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably not. Honestly, yeah, I think that's true.
But we just wanted to dream for like 20 minutes for a segment. We needed content for 20 seconds.
This episode is about killing dreams, as we found out.
Yeah,
killing dreams.
My dreams flying. Go.
And that's true. I put Berardi in my dreams in that scenario, and that he was never in my dreams. So it was a little weird one, anyways.
Oh,
I'd rather bring back Bernadeschi. There's a hot take. Bring him back. He's upset at Toronto. He hates that filthy ass city. He wants to come back to Toronto.
Toronto is number one.
Hey, all I'm saying is my city's making like a really like low tier soccer team in 2025. Lord Berna, please come.
Yeah, okay, he's gonna go to Wisconsin.
Come play semi-pro, Lord Berna. Come play semi-pro.
He's gonna look at your orange ass cheese and be like, "What the fuck is this?"
It matches his hair.
They're gonna make a 5,000 seat stadium just for Lord Berna to come.
Oh man.
And then again, we have the link if you guys want to call in or click the link to join in. You don't need to show your face. You can if you want. You don't need to.
Yeah, just click that link.
Just click the link. It's in the chat.
I mean, also, there's one thing I did want to bring up. It's kind of some, just because he's a former Juventus player, and it's some news that was happening. It's a little sadder, but Edwin van der Sar is in intensive care for the time being. So I just wanted to kind of like share that, and he's a former Juventini, like the guys. Just want to thoughts, prayers, and for him. That's just want to say that.
What was it? An accident, or was it just more so?
He's like having like brain bleeds. Yeah, so he's in intensive care for the moment. I just want to like throw some prayers out there for him. That's all.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Anthony coming in with Berardi makes me sick when he plays for the Azzurri. I mean, the whole thing sucks right now. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Chuck saying Canada slander. I'm all for it.
Yeah, he likes that stuff.
Jofla says, did Bruno learn how to speak English? Oh, yes, he did. It is the most entertaining thing you'll ever see.
Come on!
There's probably a compilation of it somewhere.
Come on, Justin. Come on. Come on.
He's like, my favorite. He's like, Alfarman! Anthony's saying, I'm all for Canada slander as...
It's a bit of Torontonian Canadian. Yes, you're not bitter because of the Canadian part. You're bitter because of the Torontonian part.
And then David saying, by the way, Club America jerseys are fire again. Don't say that in front of Frankie. I think Frankie's a Cruz Azul fan.
I am a Cruz Azul fan. They're currently playing, and they're losing to Toluca, and I'm pretty sure they got a few red cards. I'm keeping up with the game on the side. Yeah, they got a red card.
Oh, yeah, I should check. Let's see what Toronto's doing. They're playing now. They're losing 1-0 to St. Louis. Cool, all right.
Yeah. Oh, tomorrow is tomorrow's a good game, though. Tomorrow's USA Canada.
Yeah, it's late. Yes.
Yeah, it's like all the C players, the C teams.
But still, it's USA Canada.
Canada's so
it's not hockey.
It's not
gonna win.
My thing is, like, my issue with the US is they rehired Greg Berhalter as their national team coach. Problem is like the whole like Megan Rapinoe like equal pay ruined the USMT's like coaching budget, so they can't like afford a coach that wants more than $2 million a year. Like it's pretty messed up. Like they actually broke it down on TV where like the US can't afford good coaches, so they brought back Greg Berhalter.
So that is an interesting discussion. And I know it's more slanted to the women's side here in Canada because the Canadian women have actually done something and won things, whereas the men have just shat their pants the whole time.
Yeah, they're just becoming relevant.
Relevant-ish. They still like. I mean, they've made it to the world stage, sort of, and starting to get noticed, but they haven't really done anything since. Whereas the women have won the Olympics, like they're ballers. So yeah, in that case, they're the ones that are making Canada soccer the money. In the States, maybe it's a little more even, but I'd say the women have still done more.
Well, the thing is like. The women, yeah, but the reason why the reason why the United States women's team is like miles ahead of a lot of other international women's team is like, let's be honest, like Europe just now started investing in women's leagues. Like outside of France and maybe Spain, nobody else really did it.
Yeah, and now Juve and Roma, because like we're starting to in Italy as well.
Italy had a great run. The Italy women's team had a great run in the last World Cup, and that was their first World Cup ever. So it's like. And this is where I'm kind of getting irritated with the U.S. women's team is like, I don't think you and Colin can see it, but there's like a World Cup ad where it's like, can anyone stop this U.S. women's team? How incredible they are. And they're like scientists in the lab trying to like break it down. Oh, just lock Rapinoe up with this and this. My favorite is I saw it on YouTube and someone commented on there, just have them play a team of 15-year-old boys. I cried.
Well, they played
that was the Australian women's team, right? That they lost like to 15-year-old boys.
Yeah, well, what is it? Recently, the
Wrexham, yeah, they won 11-0, I think it was. Yeah, but, which is now a fourth division English team, right? Like it's not a great team.
It's like all due respect to the U.S. women's national team. Like, yeah, they won back-to-back World Cups, but like they're winning against countries like predominantly the women's game in the world was like more so like imagine like just part-time players essentially. That's what most national women's teams were.
Yeah, they're going to play like
Federico Gatti.
They're playing mostly like small island nations in the Caribbean.
Because it's like, they win, like, everyone's like, look how dominant they are. They won 13-0 against Trinidad and Tobago. Like, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah,
Like,
small island nation in the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I think the women's national team is going to get humbled really, really bad once Europe starts developing their women's leagues a lot better. Because England's women's league has gotten significantly better. Their national team's gotten good. France has gotten really good as well. Italy is starting to climb up there as well. Spain, I mean, Barcelona has been incredible with their women's team. So the Spanish women's national team's growing as well.
Well, the Women's World Cup starts on the 20th, so we're gonna see.
I mean, Julia Grosso and the Canadians are doing awesome.
Man, I love the Canadian female team.
And then, like, for example, even
don't talk about the Mexican women's team. They're not very good.
even the Swedish
nor the male one.
Even the lady Swedes.
Just wait.
So look, I'm saying this, especially like a lot of, if there's anyone that's like sitting there like popping smoke on the women's national team for the United States, like, you're on borrowed time, man. Like, yeah, you guys won the most World Cups now, but you guys are done.
I feel like they were just early to the game.
Yeah, they were. And that's the thing. Like, and that's one of why I had one of the issues when they were kind of like coming at the men's national team for more money, where it's like, and this is my perspective looking at it, where it's like, you're ahead of the curve from the world, and you're using that to justify that you guys are amazing. But, like, for example, if you look at the United States men's national team, the U.S. throws maybe their fifth-tier athletes, because this is my issue with American soccer. It is pay to play. You cannot get some kid in the streets and have him grow up and go through the ranks. It is ridiculous. Like, the amount to play here, you're paying a lot of money in the United States to play.
That is every single sport in North America, though.
It is
ridiculous.
But
Soccer,
soccer, football, I understand hockey because of the traveling, the pads.
Hockey is stupid.
It is
absolutely ridiculous.
But a sport that honestly, all you need is a ball and some shoes.
It shouldn't cost a lot, but they make it cost.
It's ridiculous. And I'm gonna answer Anthony's question real quick because he asked me about me being a Mexican American from Milwaukee. So what drew me to Juve was I used to be. Sadly, I don't want to admit to this, but I used to be a Man United fan because I was a big fan of Wayne Rooney. I loved Wayne Rooney. He was like one of my favorite players to ever watch play. I loved watching him play. So I was a United fan. Used to be. I was watching, but I wasn't like concrete. I wasn't really watching anybody pretty much but Rooney at that point. That was it. So pretty much I was just watching Champions League like normal because, and then one day I saw 2015, I think it was, I believe is the Mandzukic goal. And with that knee slide, that Mandzukic is pretty much Mandzukic is the reason why I became a Juve fan.
So you like Mandzukic on his knees, and that's what really got you going.
yeah. So I became a Juve fan in 2015, and Mandzukic is. So I'm a newer Juve fan. So Mandzukic is the guy who got he got me. He's the guy who got me into Juve.
And now Gotti's still in that spot.
Well, after Mandzukic, actually, it was like Buffon. Buffon had my heart, like on he literally had my heartstrings. I was like, I had Buffon jersey, like shirts, like just like I couldn't afford jerseys, so I had like bootleg Buffon shirts with like long sleeve shirts with Juve logos from like Amazon.
Oh, I thought you were about to say AliExpress.
No. We bootleg, but not that bootleg.
You got to support America.
But yeah, I was like obsessed at that point with Juve, and it was just from there on,
David saying they've got nothing but Davies and Jonathan David. Yeah, I don't know. You guys are Canadian, so you guys would answer that.
Richie Larea is okay, but yeah, for the most part, that's all you have.
Anthony Iguchi saying, thing is, the woman could win. The women can win 10 Olympics in the row, and more people would still watch Canadians men lose to St. Kitts?
St. Kitts in Guadeloupe, which just happened in the qualification stages. Yeah. See, I would kind of, and I mean, I don't have the viewership numbers. I don't know, but just from my own perspective, like I know people that just trash soccer all the time, like pretty much everyone I work with, and when the Women's World Cup the Olympics were on, everyone watched it. Like
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
watched.
yeah, no.
Everyone tuned in to watch the Canadian women's win.
Whenever it becomes the World Cup or the Olympics, everybody for some reason is the most patriotic soccer fan in the world, or football fan, I should say.
I love the Mexican fans that like don't watch or follow their players at all, and then when it's like
Dude,
the World Cup or the Gold
they're
Cup,
the most passionate fans in the world,
I
and
know.
like literally, it's my uncles. It's literally my uncles. I'm gonna explain to you guys a story that is very very bad. Kids do not do this at home.
Oh, wait. I got the disclaimer.
It,
Let me hit you with that disclaimer real quick.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
I am so happy I made that thing.
all right. So this is throwback to the Mexico-Chile game. When I was a young lad.
Dude, I was surprised I didn't get stabbed with how hard I trolled that game.
This is that game. Okay, so everybody's at my house, we're doing a big like bonfire outside, like, like watching the game outside on a projector, watching the Chile Mexico game. The game ends, and then everybody's already drunk at this point. I'm at that point, I was young. I was like maybe like barely in my teens at that point. But pretty much my uncle decides, hey, I just bought this shirt because for some reason I want to say I'm a Mexico fan now. So he just bought a brand new, like at that point, $90 jersey for Mexico. Decides, hey, you know what? I'm drunk, let me throw some alcohol into the fire and go ahead and throw my jersey in there because this team just got obliterated. And it's... Yeah, so those are like the fans that just become, the strongest Mexico fans. It's great.
Siete cero. That was, oh my goodness. Chuck saying, in the U.S., we could barely get anyone to care about the sport in general because almost everyone likes football here as an immigrant and comes from a family of immigrants, myself included. That, and the issue is that they charge you almost $300 an hour to rent a turf field to play on.
What to say that? Yeah.
Where I'm at, it's 100. It's 100 an hour, which is still pretty ridiculous.
Is yours AstroTurf or is it like?
Yeah, it's AstroTurf. It's a really.
I need to move.
We have like multiple like really nice facilities down here in like Wisconsin, particularly like Milwaukee.
You guys really, like playing on that year round?
Yeah.
You guys are ridiculous.
Well, we play outside. I play outside mostly. I rather play like outside than indoor, but
turf is the worst for your joints.
But yeah, it's just because we have no grass fields. We don't have any.
Yeah, nobody takes care of the grass here in the United States.
Yeah, literally, our grass fields become dirt fields.
Yeah, so it's like, because like for example, here I work with this app. It's called Just Play on the side. So what they do is they're a big pickup host network. So they host games in the area, and I work with them as far as like hosting games and getting people to play out. And like the prices are ridiculous. Like we have to book fields at like obnoxious times just to cover cost, like just to reduce costs. So we're not charging players like $20 buy-in to go play for an hour. Like it is ridiculous how much it's gotten. Like the prices have raised on this, and that's one of those things where I'm telling you, like in the United States, like football should not, touche, but like football should not be this expensive to play. Like when I go to Europe, I can go into a cage, I can pay my $1 or $2, and I'm in there for as long as I want. And we're running it, and that's the one thing that Europe will go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So like that's the one thing that Europe will always shatter us in is like the availability to play it. Because like even Zlatan said it, and like for example here, like my boss at work, like the amount of money he has dumped into his son, travel leagues, traveling, doing all this, and that's because the only way you can get scouted is there. Like your local high school, middle school, no one scouts it unless you have someone that's a wizard.
Don't care. They don't even really like even for football. They don't even really care about college level play. It's literally like if you're not playing like on a club team, they don't really care.
Yeah, I think playing college is like the biggest sham ever. Like I know there's so many guys that like I used to run with and they're like, yeah, I played NCAA and blah, blah. And it's like
they don't care. Unless you're playing for like high level club league or like semi pro, they don't care.
Yeah.
USL essentially.
USL. That's the only way. That's the only way you can get into
literally.
the MLS is through the USL.
Yeah. Well, because they're trying to emulate the North American system.
Yeah, my nephew's in the USL, and like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount traveling he has to do just to like play with them and whatnot.
Yeah, and the thing is it's out of his pocket too.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous. Because it's like, for example, you go into Europe, like the academy is free. You're going into the academy, and it's like, yeah, when you're 18, like you better have your shit sorted.
Yeah.
But like, at least you have something.
I mean,
Yeah,
Matt,
it's an investment on their part that they're
Yeah.
hoping that there's a payout on the end.
And
in
they
Mexico,
wonder why
you
we're
just show up,
lacking
man.
so bad.
In Mexico, you just show up to a field and they're like, "Hey, you want to play?" That's why that's I've gone to Mexico multiple times. I've played on like a whole bunch of like random pitches because I
Right.
mean they
Why do
just
they have
don't
grass
care.
in Mexico but not Wisconsin?
I don't
That's a
understand.
good question.
Well, we get snow, and the snow keeps away our grass forever.
Have you not seen the groundskeepers?
Hey, I was gonna say, like, come on, Colin. Like, they couldn't even get the grass for the NFL Super Bowl right. Players are slipping all over the damn place, and that guy was getting paid millions. Could you imagine a groundskeeper that makes minimum wage? Fertilizer? What's that? Weed and feed?
All right, y'all. Well, I just want to say I gotta head out of here. I gotta go run a few things before.
Yeah. Well,
Just
thanks for
goes-
joining.
But it was a blast joining y'all. All I gotta say is let's go, Gatti. Gatti's my hero. Hold up. Let me set my camera real quick. Hold up. Show him. But yeah, no, I'm out of here. I gotta go do a few errands and stuff.
Again, guys,
yeah,
if you
it was
want,
fun being able to join.
if you want to,
he heard rumors like
wanna-
Gotti's at the beach.
yeah, he heard Gotti's in Wisconsin, so he's going to Lambeau. But again, guys, if you want to talk to Frankie, join our Discord because Frankie's active on there as well. You can join our Discord gaming tab so you
Yeah,
can
the pro
play
clubs.
pro clubs with Frankie.
Come see me throw absolute dimes.
Captain Frankie
Come see
playing
me just
Gattino.
come see me score headers from across the world.
It is true. I'm the
you know-
striker. He comes in from midfield, pushes me out of the way, and hits the header.
I think the best part we need to make a T-shirt of one game left, Dave, because Dave apparently just starts scoring worldies. Dave's like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna get off. It's my last game." Scores a hat trick, and we're like, "Dude, what was this like the first hour and a half?"
Just gonna start calling him Rabio.
The last game, just contract game, Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Patrick. Yeah, love it.
All right, y'all have a good rest of your night now.
Let's
Yeah,
see,
man.
Frankie.
Take care, man.
See ya.
And then David's asking me, I think he's asking us this. Can I ask just a genuine question? Could it be the short-mindedness in America? Like it's so deeply rooted to play basketball and football. Yeah, so that's the money maker. Right now it's like the NBA. But like the thing is like if you think about it, like the odds of you making the NBA is like the smallest out of all four sports because each NBA roster has about 10 players and there's 32 teams, so 320 players.
Yes,
Potentially make
as
it.
opposed to like football has
55 players on a
yeah
roster.
50 which is ridiculous. It's
But-
a huge number.
The thing is like to be honest with you guys, to
Talk
kind of
about
give you like an insight in the United States, like when you're looking at American football, there's like maybe 4 or 5 states that produces a majority of your pros. Texas, Florida, Alabama, I want to say I don't think it's the Carolinas, but Louisiana. So essentially
They also all vote the same way.
But yeah, it's literally that
Yeah.
southern stretch of the country that produces like 90% of all NFL players. And then it's like basketball players are more so like your basketball folk come in from like your urban cities, like your Chicago's, your Detroit's. Yeah, Dave says LSU. That's pretty much it. Like that's pretty much it. And the thing is like it's short-mindedness, but also the money isn't there. Like for example, you make more money with the MLB, the NHL, even PGA than you would with MLS. Like, for example, if you're just a rotational player in the MLS, you're maybe hitting $90,000 a year. Maybe the money has gone up. But, like, for example, a lot of players, and this is the issue too. So, like, the MLS does a draft, just kind of like the NFL and all that stuff. So it's like, the difference is like with the MLS, they only invite 60 players for the draft, and that's it. So it's like you're not even bringing in a pipeline to really develop players in the United States, and most teams are, poaching players, washout players from Europe. So it's like they're using all of their money. Like for example, Insigne and Bernadeschi's contracts are predominantly like a majority of Toronto FC's contracts, and then they're like giving scraps to the rest of the teams because the MLS has still got a salary cap.
What is it? Do you know?
The salary cap?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, to be honest with you. Like they have an exemption for European players. I forgot the rule of it, but it's like a luxury roster spot or something like that. But
To defeat the purpose.
yeah, it does. It's stupid. But again, they did it. You can blame David Beckham for that because David Beckham's the reason why they implemented that. Because like
Messi.
That too. Yeah. But and then it's just stuff like that. Like, there's not money in the United States for playing football or soccer. I'm sorry. Like, you're better off going to Mexico. Like, for example, there's a lot of guys that I played in college with, and there's a lot of, and we still keep in touch. All of them left the U.S. to go play in leagues in like Thailand or just random leagues in Asia or whatever, because they make more money there than they would here. So it's one of those things where it's just the money's not there for like your average Joe. Because like in the MLS, it's either, you're like this amazing player. Because think about it, the best United States players go play in England or they go play in Europe. They're not playing in the MLS. McKennie's not here. Pulisic is not here.
Yeah,
Reina,
England and Germany.
yeah, they're not there because they're not incentivized to make money to play here. So it's one of those things where the money's not there. So, and that's one of the reasons why it hurts, because it really is. Look at Zlatan when he talks about playing in the United States. Like, he said it. He's like, look, man, it's my kids. I had to pay almost $8,000 just for my kids to play here. He's like, and I'm not putting them in like some amazing league or anything like that. He said it was expensive. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's the same idea up here. I mean, pay to play. I don't know in terms of dollar value, but it's the same concept here.
Anthony's saying same thing in Canada, Chuck. In Toronto, you'll see people wearing football jerseys. You're 98% sure that guy or girl is Italian, Portuguese, maybe South American.
And that's not even the whole story. So just quick story. I was going to the TFC game, and I saw a lady. She looked to me like she was Italian, probably was, and she had a Juve jersey on. So I gave her the hands up. I was like, "Hey, Juventina," and she just like kind of looked at me like, "What did he say to me?" So
a Juve what?
Yeah. So even if they're wearing the jersey, doesn't mean a whole
lot. And then David saying in Germany, teams don't allow you to be first team eligible until you got some school degree to have something in the back pocket instead of career-ending injuries and stuff. True. LSU. He's talking about these. Notre Dame doesn't really produce that many. Like,
it's more basketball,
pros.
Isn't it?
No, Notre Dame's kind of fallen off pretty badly. It's Ohio State, yeah. So
yes, that's another one.
LSU, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, Florida State, but it's LSU, Georgia, and Alabama. Those are your big three as far as like talent feeders to the league.
Buckeyes, is that Ohio?
That is, yep.
All right, I'm starting to learn some of this stuff.
David saying, I don't understand why they don't develop a true youth system, go for a relegation type system that incorporates sports DNA, build it slowly, truly with heart, because America's stupid. Yeah. Anthony says salary cap is 2 shiny nickels and a hot dog. Touche. Chuck saying what's cool about the Northeast in the U.S. is we have big Italian influence here, so you can always find some Italian Americans to watch Serie A. Outside of the Northeast, it's really uncommon. Yeah, the thing is like where I'm in the Midwest, it's predominantly Premier League heads. You might have like the occasional AC Milan, because AC Milan did a lot of stuff in Michigan in like the late to early 2000s. But yeah, Michigan, it's either Messi or Ronaldo when it was like their heyday, or the Premier League. There's not that much Italian love here.
I met another English guy. So everyone I've met, bar maybe 1 or 2 people, are all English fans out where I live. So I finally met another English guy, and I asked, like, okay, I got to ask you, like, who's your footy team? And he didn't say a Manchester team. And I'm like, oh, God. Like, he said West Ham. And that was the first time I actually ever heard somebody say West Ham. So, I mean, it's a bit of a win, I feel, that it wasn't Manchester United, because that's always the answer, I feel.
It's probably just from a certain part of London.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying, that he was. But everyone else is just Manchester United. I don't know, Colin, because you're not too far from me. What is it like? Oh, you also have a more broader demographic where you live.
Well, I grew up in Little Italy, so I still, like, my friend has a cafe there. So all the Juve games, if I'm not like at home already, I'll stop work to go to my friend's little bistro.
Oh, nice.
And I'll meet up with some friends there. So the group I surround myself in with are predominantly Serie A fans. And in general, I mean, like, it's 50-50, but that could just be because who I associate with. I do a lot of business with Italian guys, and I grew up a lot with the English guys. Obviously, the English guys are all pro EPL.
Yeah.
And even like on my Thursday and Friday night soccer, I play on a Serbian team. So right now, my entire 2 teams love Juve
because
So-
of Kostic and Vlahovic, I'm assuming.
exactly. Yeah.
I gotta ask, dude. Though playing with the Serbian team must be intense, dude, because they're no bullshit. They're going in hard.
So to answer that question, I'm a goalie in real life,
Okay.
and I led both my teams in cards. So they keep up to my standards. It's not the other way around. In terms of intensity, sorry, not in gameplay.
I get it, man. Because I play with an all Albanian team on Sundays, and it is intense.
That's why I asked to join this team, though, is because I played on a team that had like a lot of Canadians, and I grew up until like my mid-20s. I only played on like immigrant teams, and I felt that was like my home. Then I started playing with Canadians, and it was fucking like I'm a goalie, man. I'm supposed to yell at you. You're supposed to go where I'm telling you to go. And the Canadian kids didn't like that at all.
Anthony's bitter tonight. Where do you live, man? I live around a bunch of EPL fans. I would poison the water source on my way out of town. Well, Colin, you're right in Ottawa. I'm not, and I'm like, I don't know, up the highway an hour.
I'm technically not right in Ottawa. I live in Aylmer actually, but just because the rent's cheaper. So like I'm 5 minutes outside Ottawa.
Yeah,
I'm across the bridge.
Come on, it's Ottawa.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I gotta get on a highway and go for a ways to actually get there. So, I mean, like I'm not actually from Toronto. I say I am because it's easy. I'm actually from Richmond Hill. It's just the same shit to me at the end of the day.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah,
Aylmer, there's 2 bars, and they're predominantly there's a lot of Eastern Europeans where I live. A lot.
yeah. The thing with Eastern Europeans, it's funny because there's like it's 0 or 100. Like either they're really chill, really mellow, or they're like going for your ankles and hoping they like pop your knees out with a tackle.
I love them.
And David saying he actually knew Hane Mukhtar from Nashville. Saying he was my classmate from grade 5 to 10th. I actually watched him develop through the ranks from the local small team to Hertha Berlin to Benfica and now Nashville. If I see Nashville, I'll be like, hey, David Elliott told me to talk to you. And I'll take a picture of him and I'll send it to you, David.
And Dan, I think you said this before too. You
said it on Twitch. The security guards will be.
Yeah, is that what he said in?
Yeah, he said one around Twitch, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening again next year. It's don't expect it.
Yeah, don't expect us to be covering English. I think Juve is going to be doing some budget cuts.
Yeah, we're cut from the team. It's fine.
It's all right.
We're about to get promoted to Division 8 anyways. We don't need Juve.
Do y'all know the next FIFA? Like, because there's rumors that obviously it's not gonna be called FIFA anymore. But
EFC.
There's rumors that they're gonna go free to play. You think that's gonna be true?
Completely.
That would make the game suck even more.
Oh man, it would
That's
just
the problem with winning 11. They did this. That was the concept of the last year. I think it was.
Yeah, a year or two ago, whatever. They messed it up.
Yeah.
There always has to be the career mode. I love just chilling out and playing the career.
I think EA needs to seriously, and this is like with all of their games, they need to stop this yearly release bullshit and just for example, release FIFA maybe every 2 or 3 years, like a newer FIFA with like a new engine or an adjustment to the engine.
Oh, it's
just do updates.
Yeah, you use it as a service model, right? Where it's just like look at Warcraft. It's what
Destiny
15 or something year, and you just keep on building off of that. I mean, they've already proven that they're going to use the same engine for 15 years.
Have you seen the videos of them catching advertisements that said like FIFA 17 and shit on the newer games?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, like the game model, like the movements, all of it still feels like the same as like the past 5 years. Honestly, I think that's how they would do it. Like if they would just do it to update squad rosters and stuff like that, then maybe they could. Because they already monetize the hell out of Ultimate Team. They make more money off Ultimate Team than they do off the game itself.
I think it's like $1 billion or something in the billions.
Yeah, at this point, they should honestly do what Bungie and Destiny do: make a base game, make adjustments to it, make
game as a service is what it is.
Yeah. Because, like for example, to be honest with you, I'd rather say that you buy the game model like 4 or 5 years ago. I'd rather pay $5 just to get the World Cup, the new World Cup update or whatever, or the World Cup version on it. Or something like that, or like for example, make the squad updates free. but like make like certain things for like the World Cup or the Euros or whatever. Are they going to release a Euro like version on FIFA because they have contracts with UEFA?
Yeah, if the contracts,
because they have the World Cup like addition to the game. I wonder if they would do the Euro because like back then, like and I think Dave and Colin would know, but like what was it, late 2000s, early 2000s? Like they actually
Euro
made,
2000 is what it was.
Yeah, they made games like Euro 2008 was an actual game when it was just the tournament itself.
Yeah, I remember on 64.
Yep.
2008, 2020. Maybe just those 2 years. Yeah. 08 and 20. Okay, Anthony Gucci saying, I hate the newest FIFA. I switched to PES when they acquired the rest of Juve, and despite the annoying licensing issues and the way Konami shafted it, the gameplay is way better than FIFA. I did too for those couple of years.
I agree. I still play I guess what's it called, eFootball now. I still play eFootball against my friends.
Is it any good?
I like playing. We play against each other. That's about the best part about it.
My gripe with it is like playing pro clubs online. Like their servers are so trash. Like you'll try to do a backfield flick, it's such a delay. Or it's just
pro
like
clubs gets the worst of it though.
It's terrible.
It's one of the best game modes, but it's the most ignored game mode.
It's the freest.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And yes, we will be doing the watch alongs on YouTube. I think Twitch is a trash platform, personally, especially now that I don't have to be on it. It can go fuck itself. So we'll stay here on YouTube.
Tell me how you really
feel. I just don't think it's very great.
I hated it. It was annoying.
They're screwing over all their big dudes, and now there's no. What's the new thing? There's a new thing out. I can't remember.
Threads.
No, that's another new thing too.
That's Instagram. Follow us, Turn Giants on Threads. But
has he created that yet?
Knowing him, probably not.
Probably not. It's Farhad. He's Azerbaijani. He works on a different clock.
Yeah, he's like a squirrel when it comes to attention. Oh my god, we need this, and then it's like, all right, great. And then like 3 weeks later, did you do that by the way? I totally forgot, man. I'm so sorry.
Well, I told him that an ultra-conservative mega supporter on Facebook was able to figure out how to transfer over to Threads, and he's like, "Oh, funny. Okay, cool. I'll do it." And then I don't know. So maybe we're on Threads. I don't know yet.
No, we are not on Threads.
Yeah, I was just gonna assume that we weren't. We'll let you know when we are. I'll make like a post about it. I personally am now. It looks like Twitter.
It's
Twitter. It's Twitter, but not now. Zuckerberg, the lizard man, has your information. It's the only difference.
Oh my gosh, did you see the parody account for Elon Musk when they were talking shit? It's like first the lizard guy wants to fight me in the octagon. Now the lizard guy steals my my platform. See you in the ring, Zuck.
Oh man, it's getting silly. I can't believe this is what the world has come to. Our greatest minds in American technology and space exploration are having a high school squabble.
I think it's fucking awesome. I can't wait to see it.
I want Conor McGregor to be the referee for that fight,
or at least a cornerman.
Yeah, you're gonna go up there. You're gonna punch him in the mouth, and you're gonna tell him, "Who the fuck are you, you lizard brain bastard?"
Who the fuck is that guy?
David saying, "I can't wait for the octagon where Zuckerberg transforms into Godzilla." And then like Elon Musk pulls like a Tony Stark and comes in with a Hulk Buster.
Walks in with his sink.
He's like, actually, you guys thought I was going to Mars, but in reality, it was a little bit of misdirection because, I wanted to make an actual Iron Man suit, so here's my arc reactor.
Fuck, you nerd so hard sometimes.
It's going to be called Not the Iron Man Suit.
Chuck says, when you sign up, you'll get most of your followers from Instagram automatically, and then when people sign up, they have the option to follow all the same people, and they'll follow.
Well, that's the whole thing, because we have like 50, 60,000 something Instagram followers, and I think Twitter's like 20, I want to say. So it's like Insta's the bigger platforms, just switch it over. But whatever, we'll get there. We'll work on our own time.
I just work here, guys. I just work here.
I'm just
you
here
know
not to get fined.
we
guys are
obviously have
asking-
control. So
you are asking too much of me, my friend. I work here 9 to 5. I make video, tell terrible dad jokes. I go sleep. Okay, that is it. Sometimes I read Twitter, but that is it.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes maybe
Yeah,
shit.
sometimes the shift may be good. Sometimes the shift may be shit.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Why the hell am I saying that?
oh man. Yeah, so if you guys haven't figured it out or haven't been following us for a while, the Turn Giants is, I guess, a bit more than just the YouTube channel. It started off as the podcast with Farhad, and I mean, he's got a lot busier these days and doesn't do the podcast quite as much, but he's still kind of the guy behind the scenes. He runs the website, all that jazz, and obviously he's the guy that does the Instagram. So when it comes to the Instagram, yeah, whenever Farhad does the thing,
I know y'all probably wouldn't know, but have you ever thought about taking over the podcast?
Depends if he wants us to. Because
I mean, it's
because I listen to the podcast. I've been listening to it for a while, and I think Dash brought it up one time. It was like, I do agree that he should let it flow more sometimes, because sometimes he puts like timers on things.
Yep.
Obviously I love the podcast, but it is something.
It's a different thing, and that's the thing. We kind of want to preserve like the originality of what the podcast was, and we will inject some of the YouTube stuff onto the podcast as well, to like if it's relevant information, and if it is, because we have done that. Just me and Dash sit down and have a podcast conversation, and we'll put that stuff onto the podcast and platform as well. But
yeah, because like the thing is like for the podcast stuff, it's like, you know, it's always been kind of like a thing where the channel or the podcast is like about an hour, not really that much longer, and it's like, you know, we know that you guys on the YouTube crowd want like the 2-hour long videos, hence this video breaking 2 hours just now. But it's got one of those things where it's just been doing it for so long, and it's just kind of a little bit like, I don't want to say difficult to change it, but it's one of those things where, you know, they've been doing their thing, and Dave and I have only been doing this for a year now, and those guys have been doing it for like
in
9.
August.
Yeah,
doing it for 11 months.
Yeah, so it's like, it's not really our place, Dave and mine's place, to sit there and just be like, all right, guys,
listen up, guys.
we are bigger than you now, so we're the captain.
I'm the captain.
And then it also and one of the reasons why Dave and I aren't always on the podcast episodes is because it just, you know, you guys get tired of seeing us everywhere.
Their time of recording that works for them for whatever reason is 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, which it does not work for us at all, right? So that's also part of it. So there's two different flavors, right? And as you can see, like, we're trying to do a bit of the gaming stuff as well. We're trying to do like a bit of the F1. I am going to do the Grand Prix tomorrow. Just kind of branch out and see where it goes with certain things. And yeah, I mean,
because I mean, the YouTube, at the end of the game, guys, the YouTube's going to be something where we branch out and we cover other topics as well. Like, again, we're Juventino at foundation wise, but we're going to talk about Max Verstappen and his cheat codes in his car, or like we're going to talk about, as David's asking me about the tribal court. Like, we'll talk about stuff like that, in which, ironically, that segment was supposed to be 20 minutes, but it ended up being 40 minutes. And I didn't realize it was 40 minutes until like I actually like looked at it, and I was like, holy shit, I've been watching this for that long.
What was this for?
SmackDown last night, WWE. Brother. But yeah, that was actually wild. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm kind of disappointed because I got a feeling that Jey Uso is not going to beat Roman Reigns. So I'm a little bit disappointed that, because SummerSlam is in Detroit, and I'm going to try to get tickets to go see it live. So I'm going to go there, try to see if I can see John Cena.
Well, then you got to do a WWE segment. You got to put in some extra time. I'm putting in the F1 time. You got to put in some SmackDown.
Yeah. And then Chuck is saying, as long as YouTube doesn't try to come after you guys like Beppe.
I will eventually say something dumb, and probably.
Yeah, we'll probably say something stupid later down the road, but you know.
Who we putting bets on? Is it going to be Dash's fault first or Dave's fault first?
Dash is Ned Flanders. It's not going to be him.
Diddly, I just can't pronounce those names there, neighborhood. Just diddly don goody. That's close. Almost.
Oh man, no, that was perfect.
No, Dave, you know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna put my money on Dave because someone's gonna make a stupid comment and it's just gonna piss the fuck out of Dave.
I'm gonna say, yeah, I'll say,
Like,
you know
guys,
how Italians are when they get angry. The filter is completely.
the most entertaining thing for me ever is when I wake up every morning after we do a video and look at the YouTube studio act, because if someone seriously comments something really stupid or really like dumb, Dave will tear into this person and it's fucking hilarious.
Oh, well, I'm taking a shit. I do these on my morning shits.
Like, oh my I'm just like, bro, chill. And Dave's like Dave just wakes up and chooses violence on And the thing is, it's like Dave isn't like acting like he's mad. He just like legitimately logic fucks everyone that like comments something on there. Like Dave just hits them with a philosophical post and they're like, and no one ever responds back to it because they're like, what?
I really do hope that they ponder their decisions in life.
So I'm just waiting for someone like the only time that we would get in trouble with like the platform is like we do a call-in show, someone calls in, says something ridiculously out of pocket, and then Dave just goes like just full-blown Canadian Dave and just absolutely demolishes them.
But I would, you know, or at least you afterwards, like cut it out before it like processed, or just like get rid of the video, you know, like
just delete it, burn it.
just burn the video instead. Get rid of it.
Burn it like the rest.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, I guess we kind of gave a roundabout way of asking about the podcast, why we don't do more of it. We should. Absolutely.
We should.
And that's a good question actually to everyone else. Like, because I got into the whole watching Juve stuff on YouTube because I started searching Juve stuff on podcast platforms. So is that something you guys did?
Yeah, I literally looking for an English speaking Juve podcast was difficult because usually you could find one, but I couldn't understand what the hell they were saying half the time.
Well, yeah. There was a few though, and that the one that I found first actually was the whole Juve cast.
And the first for me, the first for me was like
my first.
Wow, yeah, like the first for me was like I remember watching Beppe back then when he was actually like holding the physical newspapers. Like if you guys have ever seen like Beppe's like original videos when he first started on YouTube, like that's how I got into it. And then it was like IFTV and then Beppe, and then like I saw Bianconeri Zone on like it was like a stream that Beppe was doing where he had like a bunch of Juve content creators on, and I was just like, oh, fuck it, let me go on there. And then it's like I went on there, and then to be honest with you, and this isn't a knock on them, but I've never watched AJC. Like I've never watched their stuff before, and this isn't me like dunking on those guys at all. It's just it never came on my timeline. Like I didn't find out about them until like we started doing this with Dave, and then I'm like, oh, that's a channel. Like yeah, and I don't mean this again any ill will or anything like that. I just the algorithm never pushed them to me at the time, but I did get Beppe and
it's weird because the algorithm never pushed Beppe to me. I didn't know about him for the longest time.
Yeah, I got Beppe and IFTV.
I went through, so yeah, I liked IFTV. I actually have some of their stickers from when they first started, but I got through Beppe from Rabona TV. Nice. And then Beppe got me onto, unfortunately, I have to say it, all Juve cast. But I only watched them for like 3 or 4 episodes because then they went and did that stupid stuff. And somehow Beppe was repping one of your T-shirts. That's what it was.
The Mercato's crazy one, probably.
Yeah, Beppe loves to rep our stuff. I think we get like Farhad sent him the No Pirlo No Party before it even got released. David says Dave goes full The Rock. Shut up, bitch. No, it's like the guy calls in. You know what, Dave and Dash? Here's what I think of. It doesn't matter what you think.
Oh, man, you're going back like that's at least 20 years old, man.
Yeah. David says I found Beppe
because
David. The way that I found him out was found him, and coincidentally, that was the same exact week he did the podcast with you guys, and that's how I found you guys. Yeah,
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's cool to hear you guys. I guess
we had
journey
people.
how you find the
Pepe is the
channel.
OG,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think so.
He's the OG on YouTube, but
Yeah.
like
Sorry,
obviously
English.
Turn Giants. I mean, that's one of our claims, the original English speaking one. I guess almost 10 years now. We're gonna go into our 10th year, but
Oh shit.
Yeah, I think.
yeah, it's that old. I didn't
Yeah,
listen to them that
congratulations.
long ago myself because I just didn't listen to podcasts that long ago.
Yeah, because like the podcast had like from what I was told, like the podcast had a really big following from Reddit.
Yeah,
Like,
and there's still a Reddit.
there's a
I don't-
Reddit. I don't know
there is.
where.
Yeah,
This
Farhead
day.
once in a while goes on the Reddit, and it's just this. It's like an underground version of ourselves, I think.
Yeah, because like the issue is like, for example, with the podcast, it's just getting everybody together to film an episode. Like that's that's from a third person perspective with this season, because like the podcast folk, like their schedules are ridiculous and stuff when it comes to busyness. Where it's like with me and Dave, like it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Like you guys know we're here, unless there's not really anything to report on. So I think that's one thing. But if you guys do have any feedback for the podcast crew, just like send it to Twitter or Instagram. Just DM them. Tell them
Yeah,
that Dash and Dave are gems. But
Yeah, the main account's at UV Podcast. And I guess that's some old deep cut history. If you guys don't know, it used to be called UV Podcast, but they got a cease and desist for using the name. So for legal reasons, they changed it to Turn Giants.
So yeah. Also, if you guys want them to make longer episodes, text them. Say, hey, we want more than an hour.
Yeah, Farhad's like 1 hour. That's all we have. Because that's actually funny aside as well. Because when we started doing these lives, going an hour and a half, then 2 hours and 3 hours, he was like, "What do you guys like? Who's watching that stuff?" I'm like,
You'd be surprised.
We didn't want to do. We were going to do like 45 minutes, and then this happens.
Well, I just feel like putting a time limit stops the natural flow of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's times where it's like, this is definitely going somewhere, and we just interrupted to go to another question. It's like, no, I want to finish what we were saying.
You could also say the other end of that, where it could be like a Beppe thing, where like it turns into a 10-hour thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has some ones that go.
Yeah, he does.
But
Yeah, he
I think the difference is for streaming, like on Twitch, it's better for them to stream longer hours. So I guess is what
it's funny. It's like when Dave and I are like having a conversation, like a phone conversation with Beppe. Like Beppe will be like, "Okay, guys, 10 minutes. We need to talk 10 minutes." And then it's like an hour and 40 minutes later, and we're like, we're still going because the thing is like, and that's how it's like it's fun to talk with Giuseppe, because it's like Dave and I will sit there and we'll talk like video ideas with Beppe or certain like topics and stuff like that. And it's like Beppe, because Beppe's time is like ridiculously like premium. Like if you can get like a couple of minutes because of how busy he is. So it's like, Beppe, 10 minutes of your time, can you give us our thoughts on doing something like this or like that? And like I remember we wanted to spend like 10 minutes to talk about thumbnails with him, and then it ended up being like a 2.5-hour lecture.
Yeah, our early thumbnails was I didn't understand what how the algorithm worked necessarily at that point, right? Because there's so many. YouTube is very steep learning curve, let's say. There's a lot to learn all at once. Yeah, so my early ones, because we went with this whole, it's going to be like black and gold. And
like
it wasn't
logo.
only Beppe, it was Adrian as well from Rabona that like gave us the pointers, like, guys, you got to brighten it up.
Yeah, David's saying it's great. It's like sitting at the bar or something on the weekend to chill out. And that's honestly what this call-in show is.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we open it up, just have you guys come in, hang in. You guys don't need to like sit here and talk for like 2.5 hours. You can just listen to us, but like chime in when you want to. But I think that's one of the things that we like about this. And, a lot of like your bigger YouTubers will do that, where they have like a panel. Like they'll go on their like 30-minute monologue, open up a panel and just let people talk in and just say stuff. And that's one of the concepts that I like a lot, and it works pretty damn good with sports, especially with Juve content. I think now, because Juve's kind of in a rut, I think this is like the best time. But again, I just think that we haven't been pushed enough in the algorithm to get a bunch of people, which is good and bad. Because like the good thing is you get a complex set of ideas. The bad thing is you might get some of the sticklers that you have to slap on the wrist. But
I
know,
like
it'd be
though,
fun.
like it's the quality though, because I found as a whole the quality of the people that do watch, they seem to be elevated. They're better. They're better than the other ones.
Yeah, we have a really good community too, though.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I'm really trying to boost
They're
people
peasants.
up, but
Everyone else is peasants.
Peasants.
yeah. But
But,
like, we've been able to, for the most part, have conversations and kind of work things out, and like differences have never really mattered. We'd be like, okay, cool, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
fit,
because
like,
like
fit.
today is a perfect example. Dave and I weren't on the Berardi train, and we're like, okay, we need someone to sit here and talk to us about it. And then Colin comes in and tells us about Berardi, and we kind of sit down and discuss it. Like that's the thing. Like that's kind of like what the objective of this is like, for example, like you want Misak to sit there and convince people that Fabrizio Romano is colluding with Asians. No, but like you like just have to sit down and have stuff like that where it's just like I don't think it's beneficial if we just sit here and say, you know, Juve is a banter club, Juve is a joke club with all the moves. I don't understand this and yada 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 or things like that.
I love how when you go on these rants, you use very specific wording.
But you know, it's just I don't like because like I understand that we're not in a great moment. We're not in a great spot. It's there. I acknowledge it.
There's a lot
But
of
like I'm
flaccid
not gonna
fans nowadays.
yeah, like I'm not gonna sit here and try to make money off talking shit about the club that I follow because why am I following it?
I think one of the things too, and I'll take this as like a self gloating. Look,
Dave's
I don't know.
jerking himself.
If I'm going to jerk myself off, this is what it's going to be about.
Oh, go on you.
with the stranger again.
Yeah, the stranger
sitting on your hand.
Yeah. I'm looking for the good words, and all I can think about is jerking off. So I think me and Dash are doing this because we love doing it, and we're not trying to get rich off of it.
Didn't your wife just call us losers?
Okay, that was just me and you that were playing FIFA. Yeah, me and Colin were playing. She loves to. My wife likes to come down and troll once in a while. Yes, she can be a troll and calls us losers for playing video games together. Yeah, whatever. It's her thing. She doesn't do it often, but once in a while. And she came in hot from work on a Friday afternoon, so she was all spun up. You know, had to get a couple runs down range. She was okay, but no. Going back to the point. Like, yeah, would it be cool if we made tons of money off doing YouTube and we can live this like whatever millennials every millennial's dream of just like going on YouTube for a couple hours a day and making $1 million? Sure, who wouldn't? But at the end of the day, we do it because we love to do it, and we want to expand that community and just talk about what we love. And that's all it is at the end of the day, right?
But I think that's what makes it so great is, you know, we can, you know, we obviously feel y'all love the club, and it's cool just hanging out with you guys, you know.
And that's it. That's why we want you guys on here, because we are literally hanging out.
I think our main selling point that we want to do is authenticity.
Like, I mean, I could be a complete idiot.
Yeah, like
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and that's what I've always said too. We're just a couple dudes in our basement. Who the fuck are we?
Yeah,
we're facilitators for whatever this platform is.
Yeah, because like, you know, at the end of the day, like and one of the reasons why we like having these conversations with folks is like we open up and have people come on here and talk to us, because like I don't like being channels that like have these like narratives or like going at it like, oh, we need to do this, or like Giuntoli, please Allegri out and stuff like that, and then not let people challenge me on it. So you know, it's things like that where it's like it's an authentic take, because like you look at some of the takes that some people and like some of the ways that some other folks do things, and it just seems corny. Like you look at some of the strategies that some folks do, and it's just like, oh, come on, man, like just be yourself. And
it's a very content creatory thing to do. Like I have a buddy that he runs a construction business, and he does the Instagram thing, and he's always trying to like push. I don't know. It was Friday. He like was doing a head bob thing, like it was night at the Roxbury, doing the dance EDM thing in the car, saying, "Oh, it's Friday." It's just stupid content creatory things. Man, you run a construction company. What are you doing? Like, Sell your product. Don't do a dance party, right? But this is what happens: is they get
I
full. Go ahead, yeah. Let's see what
I
you
was
say.
gonna say. I mean, I would pay to see Dave do some contrary things.
But I'm gonna do that naturally. Like if something happens, and like just like right now, if something stupid was to happen and I do something stupid, then it happens organically in that sense, right?
See, I would say I'll pay to see you do it now because I know who you are now, and I know it goes against who you are really. So I'd find it ironically funny.
So what do you say? No, I
don't. Well, I'll call you a boomer for a reason. Since seeing a boomer do a dance like that, it's just funny.
Okay, no, well, like I'm technically not a boomer. The word boomer is misused. Boomers were born in the 40s and 50s.
But you have their vibe down.
I got the vibe. I got the vibe of a boomer where I just want to sit on my porch in my rocking chairs, drink my sweet tea with my shotgun, and I'm going to shoot anybody that comes in my lawn. Is that what you're talking about?
Make it sound like
they're the last and best generation.
The boomers are, or who?
No, I'm not a boomer either.
Okay, so like I'm not gonna
early 80 people. Whatever you call them, Gen X or
Gen X.
No, I'd say the gen with the best childhood. I don't care what they say. Growing up in the 80s is like the best thing ever because it's like
nothing
beats the 80s. Like movies, music.
It was all really corny, but it was all really fun and still somewhat innocent. It was starting.
Always go back and watch Aliens, Terminator,
Star Wars,
Karate
Back Kid,
to the Futures. Well, maybe not Karate Kid.
The first one? I think the first one's a classic.
You had like Jean-Claude Van Damme. You had Chuck Norris,
Bloodsport,
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, man. Definitely the 80s and early 90s put out some fantastic movies.
And then
it was a good time to be a kid, honestly.
Yeah, and the music was incredible too.
Oh my god, this is perfect for this hour of night.
Still reminiscing about in World War II. Oh, that's a W. Man. Oh, that's hilarious.
It's perfect. I love that.
Das ist nicht good. Yeah, he says that, and then like you guys remember the trend where like they were using that scene from the Hitler movie and just replacing it with like when Hitler finds out that like the PlayStation 3 doesn't do this, or when Hitler found out that Ronaldo's leaving Real Madrid, and it's just like
Man. Yeah, I remember that meme.
I don't.
Yeah, and then Dave says it's not to kiss ass, but the chemistry between you guys is great. It's fun listening. It's fun having banter between each other, and fun to talk to people that talk in hashtags. No, it's just me and Dave actually hate each other in real life.
And you know what?
The second we hit end broadcast, we're swearing at each other.
But no, you make a good point there, David. The people that talk in hashtags, oh my god, it infuriates me. Why can't people just type a fucking sentence? Without a fucking hashtag. It's so fucking stupid.
You know, Dave, I forgot to mention this, but our last call-in show where like we went on like the hour and a half on anime that actually did like almost 300 views.
Yeah.
So it's like boom. Let the nerds live on.
Yeah.
Speaking of anime, no, I'm just playing.
We got to get Dave on that god tongue.
I've never actually watched anime.
You watch Blue Lock. I think you would like it, David. It's soccer or it's football based. And Juventus, like a Walmart version of Juve's on it because copyright and branding and stuff like that. They call it Ubers instead of Juventus or Juve. But like it's footy. It like actually goes in depth about the game. It's actually pretty good. It's called Blue Lock. And like
you guys.
Yeah, and like the guy's best player, again, they can't use Del Piero, but like the guy's best player has like the same flow that Del Piero had in the 90s.
He had a lot of good styles.
Yeah, so that's what it is. Dave has it pulled up right now. But it goes about like it literally goes in depth about the sport, and it goes away from like I play to win for my friends, but like it actually is like ego and whatnot.
Yeah, egoistic.
It's like unlocking your inner ego. It's because it's essentially 300 people get locked in this facility, and only
All
one can come
strikers.
out. Yeah, they're all strikers, and only one of them can come out as like the best striker in the whole thing. So like they mentioned Ronaldo, they mentioned Messi. It's like for me playing and coaching the game, like it actually brings up some interesting stuff. Like
So
it's pretty good.
so I did Blue Lock eating ramen, and going back to last week, same thing. They all eat like animals.
And then speaking of anime in the 80s, you get Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, like the best animes ever that came out in the 80s and early 90s too.
Well, that's when Pokemon, Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon.
Yeah, Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
You look like a Sailor Moon kind of guy, Dave.
You know what? It was on as soon as I got home from school, and the animations were hot. So yeah,
David saying he showed his wife Madara using the Tsukiyomi. Oh, that's interesting. So she's watching the whole show. Hey, Dave, type in Blue Lock Ubers so you can see the Juventus crest.
like that.
Yes.
Ubers.
So that's the Juventus team, and that's the guy right there with the flow and the headband. That's like the non-copyright version of Del Piero.
Mark Snuffy.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Mark Snuffy. Is he on cocaine?
I guess. Well, ironically,
He's got the nose for it. Look at that thing.
ironically, he had a drug addiction.
Yeah, Snuffy.
Like it covers
there
it in
you
the
go.
manga spoilers.
See, I
But
already
that's
figured it
their-
out.
So if you look at their jersey, it's like based off of a retroactive Juve kit. It's a big U instead of a J.
No, I see it.
You put the J's together.
They put
and it
two
makes
J's
it
together.
You.
But like if you look at where it says right there FIFA kit creator, but like that's pretty much what it looks like in the thing. But it's like I think it's based off of something in like the early 90s or late 80s.
Yeah, it's on Crunchyroll.
Yep, it's like 20. The first season's 25 episodes. You can watch that if you want to catch up on the manga. You can, but like it's really good. Like Ubers doesn't make it into the show yet. It's probably going to be in there like season 2 or season 3. But yeah, if you're like a competitive person, like a nitty gritty person that loves to read, like this isn't cliche-esque like teamwork makes the dream work where it's
The
like
power of friendship.
yeah, like this
Oh,
does
boy.
not like if you're into that like cliche stuff, Blue Lock doesn't have it, but like Blue Lock is again like, yo, take the ball, fucking score. Like that's the premonition of Blue Lock. Like either you eat or you get eaten. It's pretty dark in a sense because like all the players that get eliminated from the selection process can never play pro ever again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a one and done.
Yeah,
Yeah. They can't play for their
national team.
national team.
Yeah, I'll download Crunchyroll and check it out.
Yeah, it's a good watch, and again, folks in the chat too, I recommend it to you guys as well. Like it breaks down like technique on striking a ball, tactical awareness, how players play, different play styles. Like for example, if you're like me and you're like a nerd when it comes to like flow state and like competitive athletes and stuff like that, it goes into it as well. It does that too. So like it's a really good show. I highly recommend that. Anthony's saying I'm Dragon Ball only when it comes to anime, but I play Pokemon games, but never watched a show past an 8-year-old. Hey man, it's never too late to start. There's some good stuff in there, man. Like a lot of people mistake anime thinking it's for kids, but like for example, Blue Lock isn't for kids at all. It's a pretty good thing. Like totally recommend it.
Oh, there's some dark stuff out there.
Oh yeah. David Alex saying random German rap line I've heard today. Her ass Nicki Minaj, the face like ribbery.
That's really funny.
That's so funny. I'm trying not to. I'm just trying to like really. Oh, that's hilarious.
That's great.
Alrighty, we're at the 2 hours and 28-minute mark. That is ridiculous. We have been on here for a long time. Dave's probably passed out. That's why he turned his camera off. He's probably sleeping. I've never seen Dave. I've never seen Dave like actually on after 9:30. So this is kudos to you guys for getting Dave on after 9. Oh, he's back. He's awake. Dave, we're at 2 hours and 30 minutes. I believe we shall cut the stream.
Oh, really? Because I mean, I could have held it in that much longer.
It's either me or you that's gonna pass out first. I'm taking the over.
I think it's you. My wife let me sleep in today, so yeah. I'm usually the one up with the dogs, and no, I slept in till 6:50. Bam,
dude! How do you do that, man? I had to wake up at like 4:50, and I was like dying.
I don't know. Well, because you work 3 jobs. I don't know what you do. You're still young though. It's cool. You got a couple more years in before. You got
a couple more years until the arthritis kicks in.
Yeah, pretty much. There's one day, just you're gonna wake up one day, get in your car, and be like, "I'm fucked. I'm fucked. I'm done."
Something about the mid-30s and a good nap that just kind of goes together.
What's interesting from what I've heard is like your athletic capabilities in your mid-30s, like it's just one day you have it.
Done. No,
it's gone.
No, I'm not joking when I said I got into my car one day and I said I was fucked. It just ended.
Which I don't. The thing is like it makes me like sit there and just marvel because like my dad is like 52 and still plays 3 times a week.
And some people are so blessed to be able to continue like that.
I'm like sitting there. I'm like, do I have any of those genetics in me at all?
You might.
Like he's 52 years old and still playing like high tier competitive, and he's playing like, and he's not playing in the over 40s. He's playing in like the 20s to 30s.
But you're born in a generation of bitches, so probably not.
I was born in the old country. Does that count? I was born over there. Do I get the old country boost?
You might get some vibes going on.
I don't know. I maybe ate too much McDonald's, so I'm fucked.
Yeah, it's the Mark and hormones you got in you.
Yeah, I got the fucking GMOs. I remember back then. Now they started selling milk free with GMOs. The fuck's a GMO? It's probably why your voice got deeper and you grew a beard at 12. But granted, though, I'm not gonna lie. Like kids nowadays, from what I've seen, like they struggle to grow facial hair. Where it's like back in my day, we're all like fully bearded by 7th grade.
I started shaving when I was 12.
Yeah, it's the one thing. So this is me kind of being a boomer, and we'll end on this. But I don't understand the new trend of like 5-inch shorts for guys. Like I'll go out like to
the Ranger panties, yes.
And like there's guys that have like 5-inch like shorts, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, well, at least we know you're not packing. Like it's like how it feels weird. It feels like I'm a chick.
It's all about the thighs. If you got massive thighs, and especially, and we know if you got huge thighs, you probably have a massive thigh tattoo. You're gonna show that off. You're gonna get them little tiny panties, so you can show off your thigh tattoo.
I don't know. That to me seems weird. I mean, look, I've got monster quads from playing footy for like 25 years now. I get it, but for me,
do you do pistol squats for fun though?
I do Bulgarian split squats.
That you need a fucking tattoo on that thigh and some short motherfucking shorts.
I'm good.
You gotta put
Dave's on the right. David's on the right thing with me here. He says I can't do it with my hairy orient. I've got like, dude, guys, if I took my shirt off, you'd see another shirt. Like I have 100% bulking hair on my chest.
I've had to, so because it's been so hot, I've been wearing my like wife beater shirts, like the muscle shirts. And I've always had to like wear one of these shirts like buttoned up all the way because I'm just so concerned because I got all this gray like man hair coming.
So at this event that I was at earlier today, Dave, some kid showed up in a black wife beater, sweatpants, and then with like flip flops and socks on. At this point, I was about to sit there and just go to the CVS next door and hand him some baby oil and being like, "Hey, bro, you're missing this."
Okay, give me. I want more of a description here though. Like how old? How old are we talking?
19,
like give me the police,
20.
the whole police description, like race. What was he wearing? Scars.
Caucasian 19-year-old, no tattoos, barely any facial hair, little to none. I would say, I know pounds. I don't know kilos though.
Yeah, I know pounds.
I'd say like maybe 150, 160.
And how tall?
5'8", 5'9".
Okay, so small. Just a small dude.
Yeah, but like he was cut, which was funny because that's where I was like making the joke, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, congratulations! You've started doing push-ups in your mom's basement."
Well, he's probably got more chicks already than you probably have. I'm gonna assume.
I don't have any fun. I'm like, what do you want?
Dirty blow.
Now
That is
listen,
a dirty blow.
to be fair, the woman
Gosh,
that
now
he's getting.
Dave's officially made me go on to Seeking. I'm gonna start pulling a bunch of sugar babies or whatever they call them. I'm gonna be a sugar daddy now on Seeking. What is it like? It's like Tinder, but like you pay $150 a month.
Holy shit!
You gotta leverage what you got, bud. But no, listen, it's okay because the woman that he's fucking can't carry a conversation, so it's for the best.
Yeah, he's like this. He's like, it's for the best, but in reality, he's still smashing more than you, buddy. he's like, I gave you the middle finger. Now I'm just gonna shove it up your ass while I'm doing it too.
Well, at least I'm giving you the reach around.
At least you asked for consent.
Implied.
That's that. Someone say it's a Canadian. He's like, well, I'm about to bend you over, Abe, but at least I'm gonna ask you politely.
Yeah, I always bring you some lube. So it doesn't hurt too much.
It's okay. I brought the good one. This one's this isn't mint flavored.
I spat on it first. We're good.
I spat on it.
Mint flavored. If it's flavored, you're assuming something here.
Yeah, well, the scent, scented.
How do we always devolve into this?
Hey man, at least we don't have Sam Adamo. Sam Adamo would have been like,
oh my
guys, lube is made out of 15 different preservatives that you can actually eat. Like he'll come in with something crazy like that.
Oh man, he had a Serbian on this past time.
He did.
Did he listen?
They were talking about I didn't listen to it, but like it was like Balkan women or something like that. It was actually pretty fucking hilarious.
He was just like trashing NATO, and Sam was like, so what is NATO anyways? And it's like I don't even know, but just because he was Serbian and NATO fucked him, he was like, just like, fuck NATO, fuck him up.
David saying, hey, let's go for an hour. Let's keep going for another hour. Maybe Masako will wake up and join us.
Jesus.
He'll sit there, join the stream, and be like, holy shit. How long are you guys on? This is 6 a.m. my time.
He works on Sundays, though, because in his country, that's a Monday.
Yep.
They do the whole Friday, Saturday thing because Allah, they do the Allah thing. What Islam? Islam. Friday, they follow Islam.
Wednesday, yeah.
We're all about Jesus here in America, so we do the Saturday Sunday thing. Just a way, just a bit different. That's all it is. I don't know. Some people don't know that. It's. I had to learn it at one point.
No, we do lizard people. We idolize lizard people here. That's
when I was a kid, it was almost every store was closed on Sundays.
Yeah.
Now it's just Chick-fil-A.
It's Chick-fil-A closed on Sundays?
Yeah.
Why? It's America. Nothing closed on Sunday.
It's super Christian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So why do they murder so many chickens?
I just work here. You're asking me way too many questions. I just work here, man. I just sit here and I talk in front of a microphone.
I thought the mass farming of chickens might be kind of against Jesus, but I don't know what I'm talking about.
This mass same mass farming.
I don't know. I might know a couple things about Christianity, but I might be wrong on this one.
Dave, where did he touch you?
You know what? I got lucky with my priests. None of them touched me. I honestly, they didn't.
It was just his uncle.
Yeah, no, I was 100% an altar boy in a Catholic church when I was a kid. That's confirmed.
Me too.
There you go. See, it's very common. It's very common for young Italian boys to become altar servers.
Yeah, I was just locked in a basement with genetically engineered super children and just snuck my way out. But you got your guys' story is way more fun than mine.
That's what? Is that why your thighs are so big?
Yes, that was the only thing that they gave me as an enhancement. Everything else was small.
We need that Aussie guy on here to give $100 for you to take your thighs out.
Yeah, flex my thighs. He's like, I want Dash to split his pants doing a squat. I'll give you a $200 super chat.
That's creepy. Next thing you know, want pictures of your feet.
Hey man, that dude legitimately super chatted $100 just for Dave to take his shirt off. That was wild.
Yeah. That was before I got in my car and said, "Oh, go fuck myself."
So
When I could still take my shirt off. Full circle. All right, we'll end on that one then.
We'll end it on the nipple.
Yeah, leave it in there.
Well, thank you everyone for joining and for listening in. Everyone in the chat as well.
You should post your OnlyFans link.
Turin Giants at onlyfans.com where we sell feet pictures. We don't tell you whose. It might be mine, Farhad's, Dave's puppies,
Ooh.
Lucas. Lucas is low key like the Kyle George because sometimes we forget he's there. Sometimes Kevin, maybe Zachy's feet.
Okay.
So
Sorry,
yeah,
that was an inside joke.
Wasn't Kyle George back in training?
He was, yeah.
He was. That's one of the jokes because like people are like, "Oh, he's still here." So yeah,
it is true. I've thought that in the past. I hate to admit it.
He's okay.
Alrighty, guys, we gotta. Dave, you're not even hitting the music.
Okay, sorry. I'm fucking done.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys are catching the replay, thanks for listening to this really long freaking replay, 2 hours and 40 minutes. So, folks, you're going to have some material to listen to throughout the week. But anyways, guys, make sure you like on the video. Get those likes up just so it'll help the channel get pushed on the algorithm. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your cats, tell your dogs. Watch hours are still watch hours for ad revenue. Yeah. Anyways, guys, we'll catch you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Love you all. I'll be there tomorrow morning for Silverstone.